find it much scarier playing or being a player the day after being a GM because usually I have all my good rolls as the GM, and then the next day I'm fucked.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to get in bad roll. I find like bad rolls are fun in everything except combat. They suck in combat. Everywhere else, they're fun.
Is this room?
How's that? Okay, audio from me now. Unmuting my mic probably fixes the problem 99% of the time. Alright, so here we go. Welcome everyone, this is Dark Heresy, Whispers of the Eye. My name is Dylan. I'm going to be your game master for tonight as we take 3 out of our 4 acolytes on a little journey of heresy and religion and glorious crusade for the God Emperor. But before we get to that, let's have some introductions. So tonight we are only joined by Phalos, Lothos, and Barbosa. Modius unfortunately had some real life stuff to get to, and of course that's always more important than 40k. Some people might disagree, and if you do, you're a heretic. But fortunately, we left off at a point where that's actually kind of works out. So let's start with introductions, and let's go with Barbosa.
Right. So I'm Barbosa. Well, really, my name's Zach, but I'm calling myself Barbosa because, right, like I gotta go and do all the shooty bits because these lads they don't need no one to do.
Well said. Phalos.
Hey everybody, my name is Joe. If you join our Discord, which you should, I'm in there as Microcosmic God. Feel free to say hi, ask us questions about the channel, the show. I am Phalos, tech priest, who is really at this point along for a ride with more militaristic members of group, trying to get feet wet, as he said.
All right. And last but not least, Lothos.
Hi everybody, I'm Will. You also might know me as Baz on the channel, but I'm currently playing Lothos, the Adaptus Ministorum assassin, and I'm here to hopefully deal with any heretics that we come across and also spread the glory of the God Emperor.
All right. So we have a lot of stuff going on the channel. We have shows almost every day of the week now. Mondays at 6:30 Pacific, that's us, Dark Heresy, Whispers of the Eye. Tuesdays we have Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Wednesdays is World Building?
Rise of Unity.
Rise of Unity. And then Saturday is World Building. Right?
It was. I think it's being moved to Friday. That's still kind
There's
of
stuff going on. Check this. There's a schedule if you scroll down too. That would make things a lot easier. But we're not here to talk about swords and dragons, and we are here to talk about witches. But we're here to talk about 40k. So let's get started. So last time, our intrepid band of acolytes, having completed their mission on Altheus, found themselves slaves to the warp, needing a 2-week-long warp travel period to get to their next intended target, the pleasure world of Halcyon 9, a sort of undercity-driven gambling, brothel, and alcohol-fueled pit where both the illustrious and the illustrious, sorry, had my Sean Connery in there for a second, illustrious and dregs of society will come to relieve their pain and stress and much of their coin. Unfortunately, though, the night before we decided to head down or head into the warp, some of our party decided to go drinking. And Barbosa unfortunately found himself stranded in a blackout walk around the ship in the bowels of the constant vigil. Unable to find his way out, he met with a strange figure which led him to the exit, disarming multiple traps and tripwires along the way before slithering away, literally, into a vent. Barbosa quickly saying, "Fuck that," found the rest of the warband and demanded that they go and investigate. Modius, standing on the side of caution, decided not to accompany the party and instead made his way to the Navigator Cabal. The rest of the party made their way down into the depths with the help of a very helpful servitor, and soon were hopelessly lost once again, trying to plan a route on their way out, but it seems that they were discovered in this attempt. Where we last left them, they had turned a corner to see a pale, childlike figure seated in a wooden chair in this low-lit, spanning hallways of machine and piping and electrical cable. Just this solo, blinking, red pulsing light, the only illumination, and this kid's just sitting there, socketless eyes looking outwards. Not a hair on his body, wearing these deep crimson robes, or at least they look crimson in this light. And Phalos had approached, and the figure had spoken to the party, saying that the warband treaded on the sacred ground of the cult of the Emperor's Vestal Virgins. And that is where we pick up. So, Lothos, Phalos, and Barbosa, you guys are in this maintenance corridor looking forward. Phalos, I think you're a few meters ahead entering into the tunnel. You guys had chucked a spider crab down the hallway to see if there were any traps. There were not. So yeah, what would you like to do?
I guess first things first, does the cult of the Vestal Virgins of the Emperor mean anything to me?
You can do a lore check. It will be Forbidden Lore Ecclesiarchy Ministorum, or however you want to say it.
So that's just going to be a minus 20 for me, isn't it?
It's also going to be a minus 20 again, so minus 40.
In theory, I can roll a 1.
You could roll a 1.
You can roll a 1.
I
You
didn't.
did not roll.
I didn't know.
Hi Ventus, hi Sunny, thanks for joining the stream.
So, in that case, he used the word trespass, or just intimated that we were there, not necessarily
That you're just there. That you're stepping into their hallowed grounds.
Well, I did not know hallowed ground existed on the Inquisitor ship. Lothos and Barbosa, say hallowed ground is on ship. Perhaps we should be going other way, or did you mean to be finding sightless child?
Right, I thought it was a baby tech priest.
I don't think so.
I honestly thought it was a trap, but meh.
It still could be.
It could be a trap, but you haven't exploded nor turned into multiple little bits on the floor, so you've made it far.
The figure will sort of clasp its hands together and bow its head. My name is Judas. I am the speaker for the virgins.
Well, Judas, speaker of virgins, I am Phalos Date.
Will bow his head to you.
Right to Inquisitor. That is being Lothos and Barbosa behind me.
He will nod to each of you in turn as Phalos says your name. And it's kind of hard to gauge his expression because he's not only blind, he doesn't have eyeballs. And it's a little disconcerting just to see these loose pockets of flesh on his eye, but, depending on how much tact you have, it's whether or not you stare or not.
It's not like he'd notice.
He will look to all of you and say, I'm afraid I have to question your presence down here. The Inquisitor usually sends a message should we be expecting visitors. It could be quite dangerous for any of you to stray off of the set path.
Well, that is a fair question. Best answered by Barbosa. Why exactly are we down here?
Right, well, like I said, I woke up down here, and there was a snaggy lady I thought we should see the snaky lady.
He saw a snake lady and wanted to investigate further. He also saw spider crabs. I can confirm we have seen these.
He will turn towards you, Barbosa, maybe following the sound of your voice, maybe using some sort of extrasensory perception, but he'll go, you're the one who managed to stumble into our training grounds. These snake ladies you speak of are the virgins, I'm afraid. They most likely assumed you were part of the exercise. I'm surprised you're still breathing.
Wait, so not alien or nothing like that, just why she got no bones like a snake then?
Well, they didn't need bones. So the Emperor took them.
Right.
Come, and he'll hop off the chair. The robes sort of pooling around him, and he'll have to actually like gather them up in a clump in his arms to walk without tripping on them. He looks a lot more comical now, like a small child playing dress up. And he'll begin walking away. Come, we are secluded here, and we prefer our solitude, but you are welcome, as long as you walk within the light of the Emperor.
Okay then.
I suppose be leading the way.
I'll just kind of shrug my shoulders and follow, be like,
Right. Let's go meet the snaky ladies.
He will nod and begin making his way through these through these corridors. And again, it's kind of like the thing you felt earlier, Barbosa, when you followed one of the virgins back to the entranceway to the maintenance tunnels. He knows the way. You're not sure how he knows the way. And he's walking very adeptly around everything. Maybe it's just, he knows the path by heart and has his own way of mapping it out. Maybe it's psychic. Maybe it's fucking Maybelline. Who knows? But you will notice after a while, the cloud of incense becomes a lot stronger. Quickly fading away are the smells of oil and dust and mildew and spider crab. And instead is replaced by this very heavy, cloying incense. It is almost sickeningly sweet. And you'll begin to see seals and writs of purity along the walls and railings. And give me awareness checks from the party, -10.
Okay.
We've got a theme going. I can maybe roll a 1. Nah.
I'm actually skilled in awareness. It's like -10. No.
Spaz, for the roll about the Ministorum, I'm sorry, I just saw that in roll 20. This is Forbidden Lore Ministorum, not Common Lore. There's Forbidden, Scholastic, and Common when it comes to lores. This would be a lot more of the secretive, dark side of the Ministorum that wouldn't be found in the Scholastic sense. Oh wait, whatever, I don't care. So just Barbosa rolling awareness. And Spaz, you rolled. Micro, you rolled. Did you pass, Phalos? Okay.
No, -30 left me with a 1.
Oh.
As a success rate.
I mean, you'll get there eventually, man.
I'll get there. I'm just putting points and tails.
Just hold one of our hands. You'll get there.
Yeah, you guys get the sense that it's just this kid down here, Judas, leading you through these tunnels. The light, as you progress, there are more of these small little votive candles and shrines lighting the way as well, and eventually you reach a open area, fairly large, kind of like the one you met Judas in, the sort of circular area. This one is a lot larger and has many tiered stories to it. It's probably about 4 stories high, and it has multiple access tunnels and a sort of wagon wheel pattern arching out from it. and there is just this giant, almost handcrafted looking statue, about 10 meters high in the middle of the room, and it looks like it's carved out of the wax of 1,000,000 votive candles. Just this huge thing of the Emperor, and around it are laid flowers and burning incense and tokens and small little statues and trinkets of blessing. Modis isn't with you guys. Yeah. And you do see, sort of as you all enter, and your footsteps sort of clanging and echoing off of the metal grill of the maintenance way, sort of popping up along these balconies. You see these white, almost fluid-like, shifting shapes of dozens of these figures that you saw earlier, Barbosa, sort of gathering around to witness the newcomers into their sanctum. And Judas will walk up to the giant statue of the Emperor and sit down on this sort of very nice looking, sort of fluffed up, almost like kneeling mat, and stare at you all and just sort of nod his head. You are welcome in the sanctum of the Vestal Virgins.
I'm gonna just kind of like elbow Phalos and be like, right, told you, snake ladies.
Fair enough, snake ladies. Not something needing extermination and potential forever lost in vials of ship, but there are snake ladies.
The snake ladies are the sacred virgins of the Emperor. You will not show disrespect towards his wives.
Exactly. We shall not be disrespecting the wives of the Emperor. We should no longer be calling them snake ladies, Barbosa. I cannot believe you.
Well, I don't mean no disrespect. I'm just saying, snakes ain't got no bones. They ain't got no bones. Same thing.
The virgins have been blessed by the Emperor. The ship sends them to us, and we find them along the railways. We take them in and mold them into what they were truly meant to be.
Interesting.
Right. So, and y'all just live down here?
We exist to serve the Emperor. We are waiting for his glorious return, where his wives will take his side and birth us a new age, a new generation.
Right.
So you keep them safe until time is right.
I speak for the virgins. They see for the speaker.
Right. You also be leading them, or you just be talking for the leader? Who? Right, like.
The Emperor leads us. We have... He will raise his hands in placation, like... We have etched a deal with your Inquisitor. We started off in this ship many, many millennia ago, and this has become our home. The Inquisitor learned of our existence, and instead of expelling us, he and the Constant Vigil have welcomed us. In exchange, he asks for a tribute every now and then. One of our virgins to serve him.
Right. I'm assuming good for getting in places with the no bones thing then, right?
You're really in on this no bone things, but
Right, Lee. I ain't never met nobody with no bones before.
I have met plenty of people without bones. Good people. Bones are unnecessary.
Bones are pretty important.
Only temporarily.
Right, well, I like being able to walk around. I ain't trying to have every muscle in my body have to work like my damn cock to get me to walk around. All right, I'm gonna keep my bones.
Well, no, you should be replacing bones with superior manufactured bones. It's fine. Um, well, we have stumbled upon your home, and it's quite rude of us to be seeking phantoms that were not meant to be found. Uh, should we? You say we are welcome. I just do not know if there is something that we should be doing as acolytes of Inquisitor to properly be here, or if assistance is needed, or if we should just be leaving without causing commotion
Well,
when time has come.
Your presence is welcome here. We are not in need of anything. We would demand that you keep our existence a secret from the larger portion of the crew. Most of them know not to come down here, and the ones that do are given to the Emperor.
Right. Well, no one would even believe me if I was talking about snake ladies, anyways.
But you have been asked not.
For the last time, they are not snake ladies.
Right, but what I'm saying is if I was to describe them to somebody who didn't know what a Vestal Virgin was, and I had to create a mental image, I'd call them snake ladies to
Well,
get people to come. But I
you
ain't
would
gonna
not
say
be
nothing
honest.
about calling them snake ladies. I'm saying hypothetically, right? I'd have to call them snake ladies, strong, give someone the image of what they was, right?
It's no hypothetical. We will not be telling anyone.
Her lips will stay sealed for now.
Okay, not tell anybody about the spotter crabs though. Them seems like a problem. Shouldn't you all be? We need
This-
like some fire.
The Sparta crabs serve their purpose. They provide us sustenance, as well as mask our movements and our smell.
Right. Are they tasty?
No,
I figured as much.
but the demands of the flesh are weak. We are the demands of the spirit.
Right. Well, thanks for, not killing me when I stumbled in here drunk as a skunk and all.
Oh, well, I'm actually not sure why you're still alive, to be honest. The fact that you walked that far through our exercise grounds, is quite incredible, actually.
He's a very lucky individual, honestly. It's impressive that he's made it this far.
It's not luck, right? It's skill. I'm a skillful bloke, see? Even when I'm drunk, I might not remember how I did it, but I'm sure it's a sight to see.
I would like to think there's at least the Gaunt Emperor has plans for this one.
If you say so. Well, acolytes, if you wish to leave now, I will send you an escort.
Well, did you have reason to be staying, Barbosa?
I think
Alright.
I think the only real point we actually came down here was to see if what he was talking about was true or not, honestly.
Right, I'm true. Proven true. I've proven evidence of the ladies who definitely aren't snaky. And, yeah, right. So, y'all owe me a drink. Haha!
I do not remember agreeing, but we'll agree now to ease transition to surf
I will,
out of this place.
I will get you another drink as long as it's not the one from the other night.
Oh, well, if
That
you can
is good
find me
quality,
another
okay.
bottle of that, I'll kill the bloke who's got it. If you ever see any of that again, right? I needs me some more of that. I lost the bottle and everything. It's a sad day.
That was not alcohol.
Barbosa, would you have taken the time to read the label on the alcohol?
Like probably casually, probably would have like held it up and looked at it and been like, right, Glenfiddich, pause it up then. Like, not like anything, I'm not like paying super attention,
Yeah.
but I would have looked at probably would have like
Okay.
glanced at the label.
It did not have like a name on it. It had a wax seal and like a string of gold ribbon wrapped around the cork, which the servitor sliced away and didn't give a shit about. But there was a sigil involved on the wax seal. You may remember it. It may be a tool in the future.
Okay.
I remember good booze sigils.
Yeah.
That's our booze. Let's get it.
Right.
Runs through minefield to get the alcohol.
But yeah, so you guys, you have any other questions for Judas?
I mean, I have many questions about the purpose of group, what they do in meantime while waiting for Emperor to arrive. Questions about the ship if they have lived here for so long, but it's rude to take up so much of their time.
You can ask them. They're not doing anything.
Sounds like they're waiting to be chosen.
They're literally waiting for the Emperor to come back. They don't have a lot going on, my guy.
This is like a doomsday cult that like got lost on the bottom of a ship at some point, and then it just became like its own self-sustaining ecosystem, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, in that case, how long exactly have you been down here?
Judas will settle back on this kneeling pad, sort of slouching for a second and resting. Our written records go back 8,000 years, I believe.
So quite some time.
Arguable, yes, but we have held the vigil.
Appropriate, considering name of ship. Just to satisfy own curiosity, the Virgin Sea, because the speaker cannot clearly. Do you speak because they cannot, or because they choose not to, or because they should not, or
The Virgin's voice will only be held by the Emperor.
is making sense?
Their only words ever spoken will be their wedding vows.
And you said training grounds? What do you train for?
To fight the enemies of the Emperor, of course.
Is also making sense.
Why stand by when the Emperor risks his flesh and blood on the battlefield? Should not his most loyal servants, his wives, be able to defend themselves and him if the need calls?
Absolutely, they should, as should we all in service. Out of curiosity, do your written records, do they include much information about the vessel itself?
What would you wish to know about the constant vigil?
Well, everything I am capable of learning.
Well, I'm not quite sure. It's quite a lot of reading.
If it is organized in such a way that I may peer at the notes about the ship, excellent. If I am not allowed to see, it's okay also.
Right. I thought I was going to get to kill something.
I don't
So
think-
to the library.
I don't think you're grasping how much written text is
I'm
8,000
sure it's-
years.
Insane. I just don't know how well it's organized, or what this kid knows. I'm taking a shot in the dark.
It's like
I'm
a journal.
expecting
It's like
impossible.
day 4,972.
I also don't know
Sally
what
said
they
hi
bothered-
to Jimmy today.
Exactly.
What?
I don't know what they bothered to write down.
It's
so-
like the scene in Seven where they're going over John Doe's diaries, and it's just like bookshelf after bookshelf of his day-to-day rants and thoughts in the journals, and you're just like, oh my god.
a wild shot in the dark.
He'll-
Not
he'll-
expecting much. Think
For a moment. Well, the constant vigil has existed since the Age of Strife. It's traded hands several times. I believe it was an Imperial Guard vessel for a few hundred years. Numerous Inquisitors. For a while it was very quiet on board. As a very old machine spirit that has seen many a battlefield and lusts after the thrill of the chase and the hunt. Other than that, I have myself never walked the main decks. We are forbidden to step outside of these bounds unless called for by the Inquisitor.
Well, was worth asking, and interesting to learn as much as you have shared. I am thanking you.
He will nod. Anyone else?
Well, as dumb as Barbosa is, he knows that it'd be better than for him to make any sexy comments about getting a date with a snaky lady or anything
That
like
would
that.
be
So.
that would be a monumentally bad idea.
Barbosa's dumb, but he's not that dumb. So Barbosa pretty much just wants to go drink now. Like his little bit of fun that he was trying to have is now, like now the tech priest is turning this into school, and that's sad. He doesn't want to learn. He wanted to fight, fuck, or drink.
They will not let you see the records.
I also figured that. But
Um,
asking.
That being said, that is a trove of fucking knowledge. That a lot of people would kill to get a hold of.
We could be the ones who kill to get a hold of it.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Nah, you
It'll,
can do that by yourself.
it'll work out
Barbosa.
real well for
You
you.
can do that by yourself, Barbosa. You got
I
Those-
guess a question that Lothos will ask is, how often does the Inquisitor call upon you?
Whenever the one we send to him dies, he asks for another and we send it. It- It is a great honor. With their deaths in service, it means that they are allowed to walk with the Emperor before his great return.
You have asked what I wish to know, Lothos and Barbosa. If you are satisfied, I would gratefully accept offer of escort so we may not wander lost for much longer.
Oh, no, you don't understand. You need an escort. You will not find your way out if you do not have one.
Then I am even more grateful to be having one.
The ship is a maze. It was built that way. It takes years to memorize the patterns.
Right. So what you're saying is, if I hadn't found that virgin lady, I would have been stuck down here forever.
It's more likely she found you. I'm afraid that the virgins don't have much contact with the outside world. She was most likely curious. Maybe thought you were part of the exercise somehow.
Right, well, she clipped a bunch of wires and let me out, so if you find her, tell them thank you. And you got anything to drink down here for the way back? You know, a little nip of something warm me belly.
I'm afraid that we don't have any alcoholic beverages. We sustain off of the condensation on the cooling vents and pipes.
I'll bet you can make some kind of drink out of them spider rats. Or crab spiders, spider crab rats, whatever they be.
Spider rats, oh god.
Do you
I'll bet
mean
you.
do you mean the lizard bats?
Right, a spider rat, lizard bat.
We are not infested with those. This ship only has spider crabs. Lizard bats are a much more serious infestation.
How often do those occur down
You need a full flamer platoon from the Imperial Guard to get those out.
Perhaps we should be glad there is no alcohol until we are out of mess.
Right, well, I'm gonna kind of do a little half-ass salute. Be like,
Probably be seeing you in like, 2 weeks or something.
and
I'm ready if you are. See, I was right. I was right.
He
Don't let
will-
anybody ever say I wasn't right.
You were correct.
He will pull out a flute, which looks like it's carved out of maybe bone, and let out a few sort of whistles on it, and one of the figures will sort of detach from the railing and sort of spiraling their way down, clinging to pipes and vents and small bundles of wire, just sort of almost like a worm, just sort of slide their way down the walls and sort of slither up. Like, if you ever played Mortal Kombat, how Voldo moves, that weird sort of slithering, gyrating, almost, it's almost sexual. Yeah, it's almost sexual, but it's very snake-like, yes.
Just wanted you to say snake.
Yeah, they're fucking snake-like. Let's just get that.
They're snake
Serpentine motions.
Let's just get that out of the way. Yeah, she will be waiting. She looks exactly the same as the other one. You have no idea it's the same one or not.
Well, I obviously assume that it is the same one. Right, nice seeing you again.
We'll just stare.
Gonna take us last time, right? Thanks for the save. I could have been lost down here with nothing to drink. That'd been a fucking tragedy.
Sort of just cocks its head to the side. It's, go ahead.
It sounded like you had bigger problems last time than just worrying about not having a drink. You know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
wires.
Who knows what the wires were? It's probably nothing.
Oh, those are actually monofilament wires. They would slice into you very easily.
Right.
See, what you do
Well-
is you get your prey to flee, and in the blind rush, they forget to watch their step.
You got any of that monofilament wire? That sounds like a plan.
No.
Right. Well, the shot-ass quartermaster on the ship probably down, so we have to find out on the planet too. He gonna give me a piece of string that's gonna fall apart the second I try to use it.
Gives you a like singular strand of like a fiber, and that splits. Like,
I make
Jesus.
a garrote out of it.
I'm gonna need you to make all the paperwork for that string, sir.
Right. Paperwork, I put on side of the bullet. How you like that, huh? How you like my submission?
Right. All right. If there's nothing else, if you guys don't want to look around, you guys are free to like.
So, how is this idol set up? Like,
So
is
the
there a
idol-
sensor and it looks like it's made of wax.
It's made of wax, and it's a lot of different shades and tints and colors, which leads you to believe it's from different candles. And it looks hand carved. It's kind of rudimentary, but it looks like a lot of work and effort has gone into it. So it literally looks like they've taken the wax from the burning of like millions and millions of votive candles and used it to build this idol. It's sort of disconcerting. It's not disconcerting to look at. It's the Emperor in his full armor with his sword and power claw, standing with the halo and the double-headed eagle. And there are the figures of the virgins sort of laying almost languidly at his feet, almost seductively, sort of trying to like almost coil around his legs and arms as they're reaching out to touch the tip of his sword and stuff like that. It's very just.
Touch the tip of his sword. I see what you did.
It's very erotically charged. Even though it's kind of like erotically charged, like a lot of Renaissance art is, and it probably was not meant to be, but.
Just happened.
Yeah.
Lothos would pay his respects then. I don't really have anything to offer, though, sadly. But he'll definitely pay his respects.
Okay. You take some time, say a few mantras to the Emperor. It is deathly quiet in here. There's no sounds of breathing. Not even the child makes any movements while he's just sitting there. There's no rise and fall of the chest. It's dead air in here.
Okay. Interesting.
So,
Bring a howler down here next time.
Oh,
to
God.
Have.
cause a panic. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. So, the Virgin will sort of begin making her way through the tunnels and maintenance ways. doing another complex, indecipherable pattern as to begin making your ways. A few times you spot those hash marks that you guys were putting on the walls, but a few other times you go down completely different corridors. But just like last time, Barbosa, you're kind of expecting it, and you want it to happen. Like, you want to see it happen. So I'll give you a bonus to your perception to see if you can spot her slithering away as you turn a corner.
But what? How?
I'll
plus
give you
what?
I'll give you a plus 15.
It's a perception. Okay.
Right, see, but she's slid
So,
in the point.
as the
I told you
corner-
she's a snaky lady. I told you they're snaky ladies.
So you're all sort of jogging after this figure, and Barbosa's up front, just trucking away because he knows what's about to happen. And as you turn the corner, you do see from about mid-thigh downwards just slither into this air intake valve, and you run over and you jam your head in and like look around. And you see just this thing just very fluidly just slithering its way through this pipe until it turns a bend and disappears.
Barbosa, is your head stuck?
I'm gonna pull it out and be like,
Right, you should get your bones removed so you can do that too. You're both assassin types, right? Yeah. Think about it. If you could crawl through pipes, you could go sneak up on a bloke and stick a knife right in his neck.
I feel like there would be a lot of problems without having bones. Benefits, but a lot more problems than benefits, honestly.
Right, well maybe like you can get them put back when you need them.
It's like,
Removable bones.
It's like a suit, just on and off.
Something you can just plug back in when needed.
Get my bones removed. Give me that exoskeleton. I'm gonna need it.
Right, just get some power armor. Once you're in some power armor, you don't need no bones.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
Just get some power armor, like, obviously.
right, we acolytes, we could get him power
Yeah,
armor.
just not even the Inquisitor's wearing power armor, but yeah, sure, fuck it.
just do it.
Get-
Maybe power armor then.
Why don't you get a dreadnought sarcophagus as well while you're at it?
Until time that we get power armor, maybe he retains bones.
Right, well, hey, technically, what if you can make like some kind of fancy metal collapsible bones, right? Right, or they could be there when he needs them, and then like he does that little clicky noise that you do, and they go away. Right, you got something like that, don't you?
Absolutely. I will get right on making collapsible bones. It will take much of my days, so do not be disturbing and asking me if I am making collapsible bones, because it will ruin whole process. Just assume it is being done.
Right. Well, try them out on him, and I'll see how they go.
As soon as I get it perfected and it works on Lothos, I will make your own pair.
I don't like how this conversation's going, honestly.
And thus the seeds of heresy. were
Lothos is in the back just sweating.
No, if you catch my eye, I'm gonna give you a look like I'm not gonna make collapsible bones. Like it's on my face.
I don't want the collapsible bones. Give him the collapsible bones.
I'm not gonna bother with collapsible bones
Don't do
at any
this.
point.
Don't do this to me. I don't deserve it. I'm just a simple assassin. I need my bones.
All right. You guys are at the entry to the maintenance way. Outside are the brightly lit decks of the main ship. Phalos, I know you wanted to spend some of the trip getting to know the tech priests. And they will, like we said before, they will accept your help after the Battle of Altheus, in which the Inquisitor forwarded most of his munitions and soldiers and equipment. There are a lot of damaged vehicles, a lot of work to do. So they will eventually accept your help, and you'll get a little along with them. They're not completely open to you, but they do see that you have good intentions, and even though you do have the status of acolyte, you are still a loyal tech priest of Mars. I will say that you try to focus primarily on the Valkyries, seeing as you are an ace. You can do a little bit of help with the Lehman Russes. They're similar to Bane Blades, which you've worked on before, but not the same. So go ahead and give me a percentile die.
100.
Well, I'm rolling consistently, if nothing else.
No, that's good. Yeah, so you managed to actually get back into working order. A good chunk, about a third, during this 2-week travel. You get about a third of the armaments that were salvaged from Altheus back into working shape. So you have a handful of Valkyries at your disposal, none of the Russes, and one of the Chimeras, which is good, which means that they're available for you guys to use. I do not recommend deploying a Chimera into a pleasure world.
Gotta make an entrance.
But you've got, yeah, you guys have done other things with vehicles.
How about this? How about we just crash like one of the Valkyries into a building and that's how we get there. That's how we started off.
Just into one of the skyscraper casinos, just splatter like 50 people, just pop the hood. Like,
that
what's up?
Valkyries and us high up on buildings is
Listen.
not a good scenario.
Well, the towers in
I'm
the city
Batman.
aren't as high as those.
No,
They're still
as-
superstructures, but
As long as we don't have to worry about super bad wind, we're good.
fucking wind. I can't.
But like I say, the day we run into a witch that controls the weather, we're fucked.
Oh yeah, you guys are done. I'll just like, hey, just gust them. I'll just get it. I don't even need wind. I just need telekinesis. And like, you guys can't stand up. Your equilibrium's fucked. It was all the explosions. All right. Lothos and Barbosa, did you guys have any long-standing plans for the period of warp travel?
During warp travel, I don't know if he made it back onto the ship, but Chaplain, what was his name?
Karzus?
Karzus, yes. Lothos would try to find
Chaplain Karzus wasn't an acolyte.
Wasn't it like that?
No, he was just a priest from the planet.
That was just a guy.
He was
just the
he
average
was
priest.
he was the head priest of the local cult. He's basically like a bishop or a cardinal in the ecclesiarchy for Altheus Prime. So he was not an acolyte. Neither was Commissar Marax.
Okay, then. Well, I guess at that point, Lothos will try to spend his time pretty much both communicating with some of the Imperial Guard within the area, but also having conversations with Stock and Barrel. Just trying to get to know people better on the ship.
Okay. Yeah. Stock was the one that went with you and Barbosa, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Stock is fairly friendly with you now. Just with you guys, given your adventure together. Barrel is a little more standoffish. Very neutral. He doesn't have anything against you guys, but he's also like sour about Altheus. Who knows? Maybe he's just in a funk.
Didn't the tech free say something rude to Barrel?
Yeah, he said Barrel let slip that you guys were entering the warp without like evacuating everyone from the planet, which wasn't like they were all gonna die, but you weren't gonna get all of the Steel Legion guys off of the planet, which was like a bummer, since like guardsmen have very like strong interregimental like bonds.
And the tech priest was like, yeah, fuck that guy.
And the fact that the Steel Legion has a homeworld, and they have basically been requisitioned by the Inquisition, so they don't even get to like experience their homeworld unless it's with the other guys in the guard. Yeah, and Phalos basically said, oh well, fuck that. They're just fodder. They're just weak.
I said that must be sad for you. It was bad empathy, but it was empathy.
Mm.
Must
No,
be
it
bad
was
for
rude.
you. Just wasn't good enough as the vehicle, though.
No. Well, I had different priorities.
Oh yeah, the car.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still bummed about that.
You should be.
I am.
You know who else is bummed about that?
Yeah, I'm aware. It makes me extra bummed about it
No.
for other reasons.
And Barbosa, did you have any plans for the trip, or are you just getting drunk?
Yeah, drink, try and chat up some female guards.
Yeah.
Guards people, like,
um,
just kind of meander around, try and find a recoil glove.
you're not gonna find a recoil glove.
I know,
As
that's
for the booze, yeah, you're not. You from time to time you get some top shelf shit. Every now and then it's not. Sometimes you like manage to find some of the guardsmen and like join in their inner barracks parties and shit like that. As for the females, you do find a few who like the dirty pirate vibe, especially after all their time spent in the Scala. So you managed to make your way into a few private quarters as well. All in all, a great trip for you. It's like a vacation. Sure, there's the ever-present fear of the Geller fields flickering and demons coming in to eviscerate you.
not really for me.
Who gives a shit?
That's the warp.
So, the days pass fairly quickly, actually, for however you guys are spending them. Life to the ship sort of resumes this sort of natural cadence. It doesn't seem like they're gearing up for war, so it doesn't seem like the Inquisitors expecting any sort of heavy resistance from Halcyon. You guys did have access to an array of servitors. One of them was a cultural servitor. You also had a cultural bank or inquisitorial cogitators in your private quarters that you guys could access for knowledge. What do you guys remember from what we talked about last time? I know it's been over a week, but about Halcyon 9, the planet you guys are currently headed towards, and why you're headed there.
I remember something about drinking or fucking. What was it that had everything that I needed? I don't remember.
Oh, that line that you had last session sounded like
Drinking drugs and sucking dick.
That's all I need. But for what we know of the planet was that it was once a desert world that was blessed by the god emperor, which just had constant rain, and since then it hasn't stopped raining. And because of that, the entire world just became a giant sea with a few islands, and whatever islands there are, they're pretty much these cities on them, kind of like Manhattan and all that stuff. About that size for each one of them. Their main export is alcohol, stuff like that, and the main reason we're going there is to look into the one of the individuals that was connected to the finances of the what was that lady's name? I've already forgot the name. Damn.
Lady Brigio.
Brigio.
The
The
sale of her
connections and
children.
Lady of Brigio.
Yep.
And
So, yeah, so Halcyon 9 is a pleasure world. Their main exports are alcohol and people, mostly because there's a lot of brothels. A lot of orphans, a lot of tithe to be put out, and its governmental structure, it's run by a series of governors for the cities, but the true sort of governing power is the underworld bosses. Halcyon 9 is a major sort of gambling and pleasure center in the galaxy, so they basically skim a little percentage off the top of everything, but make sure things run very smoothly for the Imperium, so the Imperium and the Adeptus Arbites sort of just let it slide. It's very sort of, think, organized crime, mafia sort of thing, where it's like, hey, we're here, we're going to take from these dumb people what we can, and we're still going to let you guys get a cut of the pie, and it's not really hurting anyone. And it's not. It actually works quite well. And yeah, you guys are going there because Lady Janita Brigio and her husband sold their 2 children to the Sistika Distillery Company on Halcyon 9 for an exorbitant price. And these funds were used to fund the uprising on Altheus. So the concern is, why did they pay that much money, and whether or not it was just a sort of smokescreen to transfer those funds without the Arbites catching on. So yeah, you guys So that's your guys' basically your mission. You are sent there to investigate this lead. The Sistika Brewery on Halcyon 9 is a very prominent structure. But it's very open on how you guys want to do this. The Inquisitor has not given you guys set objectives. It's basically find out what the fuck this means. Why is there a connection between chaos incursions and heresy on Altheus and huge sums of money being transported from Halcyon 9?
Do we know who the kids were sold to?
The receipts that you guys took from the Cogitator and the Brigio structure did not say a private name. They just said that the company
Just the
had
corporation
it
or
was
whatever.
it was bought through. It was bought with company funds.
Okay.
Um,
Alright, so just go in there, kick a couple people in the face, pull front guns, and then there you go. They'll let us know. Right, easy.
that's how you guys want to run it.
It's how someone wants to run it. Maybe it will be a little less obvious.
Can I attempt to requisition a trench coat?
You had a full suit made.
We
Tailored.
all had our own outfits, specially.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got your black on black sort of thing going on with your gun belts and stuff. It's very Doc Holliday.
Okay, cool. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of you are going to be going in disguise. Because having guns like you guys have guns is not like a day-to-day thing on Altheus, or on Halcyon. You can't just be walking around with sniper rifles and shit.
I was probably gonna leave my sniper rifle behind and just take
Like,
three
having
pistols.
having a sidearm, whatever, but they are not going to be the city defense and peace officers aren't going to be thrilled unless you guys say, "Hey, we're Inquisition." That you guys are walking around like with grenade belts and fucking all sorts of shit going on.
That's why I wanted a trench coat so I can kind of hide, like some of the armaments.
Yeah, they wouldn't be they would be hidden to the casual passerby, but if someone gives you like a twice over, they would notice if they know what to look for as well. It's not like if you want to try and requisition a suit that like is cut for guns and holsters, you could find a better tailor on the planet than the one the Inquisitor. Like the Inquisitor's not gonna let you use his personal tailor.
Come on, man! I thought we were bros.
Well, the tailor doesn't live on the ship either. He's not
I
that.
know.
He's not that vain. Some Inquisitors would, but
How is do we actually know how we're going to be like housed or anything on the planet? Like, is there a set hotel or anything? that we
so
want to go to,
the
or-
Constant Vigil is going to dock above orbit, and you will take a shuttle down essentially. From there, you can either like finding accommodations and stuff like that. Think like you have a credit card, and when they swipe it, it says "fuck you, I'm the Inquisition."
Okay.
That's how you guys pay for stuff like that.
I'm just.
So we could
wondering-
effectively walk into the Four Seasons and be like, "Presidential suite, please."
I'm just trying to figure out a way that wouldn't make it obvious because we want to keep. it
Well, yeah, it's
as well.
people come to Halcyon to spend money. So like having money, if you guys are being obvious about like, yeah, I want to rent out the whole 50 floors of this building, you're like, why?
It's gonna
But
be suspicious.
just like day-to-day shit like that. No.
Well, if we're gonna have a place to keep it, Lothos would want to bring his rifle, but he would keep it there, just in case there'd be something that
You guys are going to have to go through customs.
Right, don't
Actu-
worry,
actually-
I mean, we're the Inquisition. We could just be like, "Fuck you, these are our guns."
It depends on how secretive you want to be. So you guys do have a subtlety level, a subtlety rating. Right now, no one knows you're here, no one knows what you're doing. A constant visual isn't registered. That you guys don't know, this is not registered as an inquisitorial vessel. It's registered as a rogue trader vessel. So if you guys don't want anyone to fucking know who you are, and you want to go down there completely inconspicuously, you guys can go through customs with fake IDs and all that shit, and go through normal immigration and get down onto the planet. Or, and this isn't going to be a huge shockwave, you can just go through inquisitorial channels and be like, hey, we're landing. And someone will get the green light from a superior to say, hey, that ship, don't fuck with it. So they're kind of going to know something's up, but they won't know you're Inquisition. They might think you're maybe a fine dignitary or someone super important. But again, it's a pleasure world, so there's all sorts of shady people running around and all sorts of important people here.
So we could go down there and pretty much be like, hey, fuck with us.
You could go in completely open. You could go down like, hey, I'm the fucking Inquisition. I want to talk to your planetary governor right now. You could do that. If the planetary governor finds out you're there, he's probably going to try and meet with you anyways, because if the Inquisition's on your planet, you've already fucked up.
That's a good point.
But he could be involved in it.
Exactly.
I guess the question is how does the party want to go about it? I'm thinking just go in quietly.
I think
up and
we
investigate.
can go in through the kind of our channels to bring whatever gear it is you want to bring without raising so many red flags, because this company isn't going to just be alerted that, hey, somebody just landed on the planet without going through customs. You should keep an eye out,
Mm-hmm.
probably. And it's a big enough place that most likely we're just going to be, some people involved in the situation of us going down are going to know that we got to hand wave some of the rules, but in general, we'll just be there once we're there.
Well, we could always set up a cover as like rich, like, you know, socially powerful people like there for vacation, you know, like come in there all swaggering in and acting all rich and shit and throwing money around. Could always like have that be a cover. I was also saying it'd be possible for them to like send us a care package, like we just go through normal immigration, but then we arrange for like a dead drop on the planet.
Yeah, you could finagle that probably. The cover story, I'll say a good cover story. Since the ship is registered as a Rogue Trader ship, you're just members on a Rogue Trader's crew.
Yeah.
So you'll have a shit ton of money to blow because you're a Rogue Trader crew. And you'll be sort of independent and stuff like that. You're not going to be tied down to the guard regiments, or no one's going to be able to check and see if you actually are a planetary lord or something like that.
And then like the rogue traders are normally like oddball hodgepodge groups of people.
So Rogue Traders have a writ of trade, which essentially lets them. They're basically they're privateers. So they have immense wealth and power. Almost as some of them have more wealth than like Space Marine chapters and shit like that.
And I'm a space pirate. So
dynasties and stuff like in huge armadas and dynasties. Like they've changed the fate of battles before Rogue Traders have. A lot of them have archaeotech. They are basically just a free agent that goes out and plunders what they want to plunder, and they have to give a little bit to the Imperium, and that's about it.
Nice.
So yeah.
What do we know about the company whose funds were used?
The Sistika Company. So the Sistika Company is the oldest brewery, or distillery, rather, because they brew liquor, on Halcyon. They are distilled using a berry that is native to the planet, which is kind of like has the effects like if you took a very, very light dose of ecstasy or Molly. It's very euphoric, very feel-good, very pleasant drunk. So it's very popular, especially around the nobles and lords, high lords, and shitty, fancy people who want to drink a lot of fun shit. It's like the champagne of champagnes. They're incredibly wealthy. There is a Rogue Trader Dynasty Hall on Halcyon 9. So it is the home base of a Rogue Trader family. You're not sure which one. Other than that, they supply everything from getting their shipping records would require some finagling. You'd have to find that. You'd have to get that information to find out who they were supplying and where they were supplying to. Inquisitorial files just say that they have a broad spectrum of suppliers, and they do. They supply the entire system with the shit.
And how much do we know about the transaction other than that this company's funds were used to pay for Geo children? Do we know anything about time frame, transport of the children? Anything we could look into farther, like the specific accounts, any sort of paper trail to start with?
The paper trail starts with the transfer of funds for the children, and slave trade isn't... Slaves aren't allowed, technically, in the Imperium.
Technically.
Yeah, technically. So it's more likely that this is seen as like a melding of powers, maybe, on a like company or business model. It's like this symbol of us giving the care of our children to you, and the transaction of the money represents a bonding of our familial houses. And that's, that could be how a rogue trader dynasty starts. Like, it could be the makings of that. It could be a normal business maneuver. The problem was they sent so much fucking money over, it doesn't make sense. From the tax reports and tithe reports that you managed to dredge up, and you have to spend a lot of time doing this. You're lucky you have 2 weeks to go through all this fucking shit. You see that what they paid was probably about a quarter of their yearly profit. So several 100 billion geld. To put it in a sort of perspective, yeah, it's a lot of fucking money.
So we don't have a name attached to it, but presumably it's going to be somebody with significant
the
authority.
The head of the Sistika family, it is a family-run business, is a man named Macassus John. He is not a political officer in any way. He doesn't hold any sort of political office. He does have quite a few records from the planetary security forces, embezzlement, extortion, bribery, shit like that. But he's never served time on a penal colony, so who knows? Maybe he's just that fucking rich.
Do we know anything about the structure underneath him? I'm just trying to narrow down who would be able to authorize that much money, if it's listed on their actual books.
It's a... So who would be in control of the company's funds?
Essentially, yeah, somebody had to approve that much money being reported.
Be... Just from basic business structure, he would probably have a team of accountants.
Sure.
You don't have like a list of those. Sure. You have him. You have a description of him. He's a human, slender, no notable bionic augments. Nothing else really other than that. The Inquisition never really had a reason to keep tabs on him.
Okay then, so we have a name to go off of when we get there.
The question is, do we want to land quietly and attempt to make appointment and just let known directly Inquisition is asking questions, but keep that information between us and this distillery and hope for cooperation? Or are we attempting to find information from outside the company to then bring before them?
I might have missed this, but what's the major location that this company owns that we would have to be investigating on or going Like, is there like an exact building, or are we looking at like most of the city? Ah, a map.
That music's gonna be really loud. 1 second. All right, this is Halcyon 9. So, you guys have a little list. The Sistika Distillery is going to be number 5. It's in the bottom left of the mass. And the outskirts of these cities, there is the area around, a lot of it doesn't exist. There's no, the channel through is a port. It is a water channel. So as it goes off the map and it goes to this white sort of in the bottom right and stuff like that, don't worry about that. That's out of play. That's ocean. The main port is over here for interplanetary travel and shuttles and stuff like that. Like I said, you can't travel the oceans. The city itself is raised up out of the ocean and off of the mountains and crags that it once sat upon on these large sort of crete pistons and platforms, sort of that offer wave breaks against these huge, colossal, tsunami-sized tidal waves that are crashing constantly against the walls and like barriers of the city. So you have the Sistika Distillery over in 5. The port on 1, Cotton Swallow is sort of the high stakes, high end part of the city. The Dynasty Halls are the walled dynasty over 3. And number 6 is the Guts. And that's going to be the main sort of, I don't want to say slums, but slums. That's the dirty speakeasies and the houses and the gambling halls and the brothels. Everything's nice and pretty. The closer you get to the port, the farther you get away from the port, the nastier, the wetter, the grimier it gets.
So the Guts is Barbossa's part of town.
Yeah, the guts is like, you know,
Definitely blend in there.
Skid Row. But as our acolytes look over that, we're actually going to take our first break. If you guys are tuning in, I hope you're enjoying the show. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to see how our acolytes decide that they want to enter the city. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll have a little tiny video for you guys. But feel free to be active in the chat, say hello, and we'll be back as soon as we can. All right. Welcome back, everyone. This is Dark Heresy Whispers of the Eye. I am your Game Master Horndrop, or Dylan, and we have our acolytes, and they are beginning their plans on how to start their investigation into the planet of Halcyon 8 and the Sistika Distillery.
I would like to glass the planet.
You would like to glass the planet. You would like to request Exterminatus?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Like, we could do that, but
Click.
kind of need a good reason.
I know it's a possibility, but no.
You're gonna piss off the fucking space wolves. Yeah, so you guys were pretty much trying to decide how if you guys were gonna go pretty much overtly, or inconspicuously. And there's kind of a middle route too, where you basically just get the channels to not have to go through customs, and you just sort of, you kind of flash your badge a little bit, but not to the extent that too many people would take notice, but maybe some people would. If you do that way, you guys are going to be able to take all your shit. I will say that. Like, if you take...
Would it be possible to do that dead drop thing that I was talking about?
Yeah.
How would that work? Like, would we set up a...
Is
there going to be like
honestly,
a safe house on the planet that we're going to have, or...
You guys could set up a location. And have stuff delivered. There are... there's going to be, like, backwater channels on the planet for, like, arms dealing. You could investigate those. If you don't, you don't even have to bring, like, your weapons down, like your rifle. You just get another one on the planet. Like, fuck it, money's nothing to you.
That's a good point.
You could do that. You could arrange a dead drop where a group of acolytes essentially leave a care package somewhere in the city. If you'd like to do that, it's up to you guys. If you guys want to have a hotel already bought out and purchased and ready for you guys when you get there, you could do that too. That might be a little more difficult as you're still traveling through the warp, and astropathic communications might be a little hard, but...
I do kind of like the idea that we buy just things there when we get there.
I'm on favor of stealth, or like almost stealth. So like maybe you take a little bit, but like
Barbosa likes it when you walk right up behind him. They never see you coming. So you just put the chrome right behind the ear, pull the trigger, and you're done with it.
Yeah. No, yeah, okay, let's get it to a vote. So you have completely inconspicuously, which is where you ditch most of your shit, go through customs, and you're there as you, basically. You'll have a cover where you're on a rogue trader crew, so that's going to cover a little bit of your expenses and stuff like that, and no one's really going to give a shit. That also helps that the Constant Vigil is registered through most channels as a rogue trader vessel. So if they try to do a check on your ship name, you can just be like, yeah, it's that. And they're like, oh shit. You can do it sort of inconspicuously, which is where you essentially use inquisitorial channels, which are hard linked in to every Vox network. The Inquisition just puts them in there for shits and gigs, so that they can always talk on any network ever. So you could kind of flaunt that, where a few people might know that you're there, but they'd either be very, very important people, or the people who are directly having to like let this fly by. But we also thought that, hey, it's a pleasure world. There's a lot of people who maybe don't want to be known that they're here, so that kind of works in your favor as well. Or you guys can just completely flaunt your shit and like fly in on a fucking inquisitorial stamped Valkyrie or Void ship and, you know, say, hey, I want to talk to this guy, and this guy fucking right now.
my vote would be for one or two.
I'm all for going in as quietly as possible. if I'm assuming we could buy more weapons on the surface if we needed something that you left behind, or we could always call back and go with that dead drop option. But
Yeah.
we keep all of our options open the quieter we go in.
I do like the dead drop idea, so I would vote for one as well at that point. And plus, if we can't do the dead drop, we just attempt to buy it there.
So you guys want to go through customs?
Yeah, we're just average, just rogue traders, just going here for, vacation.
Okay.
Exactly.
If you're
what Barbosa
going-
said earlier.
If you're going through customs, you're going to be limited to one weapon, and it has to be a sidearm.
I'm taking my hand cannon easy.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I'll leave the
Melee weapons, as long as it's not like huge, you can have like a knife or something like that, or a sword. But
I have a chain sword. Can I take that or?
no,
Can I get this chainsaw in here?
no, not the chain
Can
sword.
I say that I just have a knife then?
Yeah, knives are pretty plentiful. You can have like just a little, whatever knife. You probably found one on a dead Brontian long knife.
Works for me. I got a big ass fucking knife.
Like you want like a Rambo fucking Bowie knife?
Well, you said Brontian long knife. I figure that they have large knives.
Well, they have lots of
Maybe.
knives, and some of them are long. So
I would say like it doesn't have to be a ramp, but a decent knife, like
Okay.
a knife that could do some fucking damage.
And Phalos, are you bringing any weapons?
I've got my hand cannon, and if I can also bring it, a truncheon, which is a stick basically.
It's basically you got that on Altheus. It's basically like it's a billy club with these sort of bulbous metal bearings sort of hammered into the top. It's a nasty looking thing. Like it looks gnarly.
Break some shit.
Okay. So you guys go through the process of docking and transfer and everything like that. Big things that you guys want to bring with you, like equipment-wise.
My grappling hook.
Your grappling hook. That's...
They can't ban it. It's a grappling hook.
Yeah, they can't.
It's a grappling. Why are you bringing it out grappling hook? Well, you see, I'm a big grappling.
I mean, yeah, I can't really see a reason why
I'm
I would
Batman.
ban that if I was like... If I was like TSA, I'd be like, oh, you could get up to some mischief, and I was like, I couldn't. I'm like, okay, grappling hook, okay,
Armor. How is armor being worked?
armor. If you guys are going through customs, the armor you guys have isn't gonna raise any eyebrows, because you guys have like what, like
Black vest, and that's about it.
yeah,
I
that's
have like
not
an armored body glove.
that's not a big deal. Some people might take notice, but it's kind of like, if you see a cop in, riot gear as opposed to his normal shit. Or like a small town cop versus like a big city cop. That would be the difference. Okay. Okay. Anything else? The Auspex, that would raise eyebrows if you had that. That's a weird thing to have on a pleasure world.
I'm assuming I can bring my drugs and my injector.
So
So-
most drugs on the planet are legal, or free use rather. It's only once you get into like what we'd say like a class 3 drug is, whatever, like fucking heroin, PCP, like crazy shit like that. That's banned. But like you could say like cocaine and opium are allowed.
The only big thing I've got is a box caster, so
That's a weird thing to have because
He is a tech priest though.
he is a tech priest, but it's like he's already going to draw a lot of attention because he's a tech priest. Not a lot of attention, but he's a tech priest. He stands out. And the Vox is like a big World War II radio backpack. It's not
Yeah,
like
I'd say it wasn't small.
it's not like a sleek design thing. It looks very like it's also like battle worn. It's got dust and blood and shit, and it's all dinged up from the explosions and the fire and everything that was happening around you guys.
This thing shaped my ass, and I'm never getting rid of it.
They're not going to stop you from bringing it
No, I'm
because they
not-
don't really have a reason to, but they're also going to be like, what are you doing?
No, I don't want the extra attention, and I have to imagine there's a way for me to contact the Constant Vigil if I needed to from on planet.
How odd would the field suture medical supplies be?
Kind of weird.
Kind of weird, like.
Again, it's well, think if you guys were going on vacation.
it's
Like
the
if
first
you were
day
going
of
on
kids.
vacation, what would you bring?
Okay.
But you were going to vacation in like a North Korean harbor.
Can I cut some of the carpet off of the Inquisitor's floor and
Do
then put
not.
it on my manacles to make them fuzzy handcuffs
Do
so
not.
they fit with the theme of the planet?
You wouldn't even know if you could cut through carpet. You'd be like, damn, what if that's like indestructible?
The
Like
only other thing I have that might stand out is a multi-key.
a multi-key? That would be weird. They'd be like, what the fuck is that? That would definitely be picked up by customs. They would not let you through with that.
Yeah, that's
suspicious
something-
as hell.
We can add to the option of a dead drop.
Okay.
Can I bring my fuzzy handcuffs?
Well, you're not gonna cut. I'm not gonna let you fucking cut the carpet out of the goddamn Inquisitor's study.
What would that scene look like? It's just Barbosa with a knife just carving into the carpet. The Inquisitor turns around.
If you really want to, I'm sure you could find something to make them fuzzy down on the planet. There's a lot of weird shit in the guts. All right.
I'm just
We might
joking
find
around.
carpet inside the nice hotel.
I'm just
maybe.
thinking like, just would the manacles be considered suspicious?
No, not on this
No.
planet.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna keep my manacles then.
Okay.
So the only thing I'm down is a.
As
Two
long as
guns
you,
and a
as long as you
chainsaw.
have a set of 2 keys.
Okay, sure. We'll say that it came with 2 keys.
Chainsword,
like-
no.
I feel like we should have no problem with the microbeads, right?
Microbeads probably wouldn't even notice them. Not a big deal either.
We need to chat with one another, just in case, you know, our friend that likes to get drunk gets lost.
Yeah.
Not an unlikely scenario.
Ew, it's
What
gonna
are
be
you
like the
talking
majority
about?
of this time.
Going through that, that should be everything suspicious I need to leave behind.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys dock on one of these sort of high orbit structures and go through the very long and very tedious process of immigration. You guys are wanting to do this completely inconspicuously, so there is no cuts in line, there's no bribing, there's no nothing. It is long, it is arduous, and it is just exhausting, honestly. It takes about 6 hours to get through customs until you're sort of packed into a shuttle going into the port of Port of Guy on Altheus or Halcyon. As you descend, the ride's very smooth at first. The general area of space is free of any sort of debris or clutter for the most part, and the pilot has obviously done this route 100 times. As you enter the atmosphere, you guys do see these sort of flashes and feel the turbulence of a heavy storm and buffeting winds. There's surges in power and sparks as lightning ricochets off of the shields of the void ship. Eventually you break through, and the sort of viewports on the ship are able to be opened again. And you see just heavy storms and tumultuous waves rising hundreds of meters up and swelling in these deep valleys. Again, like constant buffeting rains. And as you make your final approach, you see just the blinking, twinkling lights of the city. and these high skyscrapers and sprawling lights and ships and glitter and gold and standing out against the rain like a just beacon against this black and blue darkness. On the shuttle with you, there are a number of other people. There are, what look to be a few squads of guardsmen in their casual dress, which is dressed down BDUs, boots. They have overcoats and ponchos just because it's obviously fucking raining. There are a few people dressed in very fine clothing, some what look like dignitaries maybe sort of chatting together. It's a very mixed group. Everyone looks wealthy though. There's that. As you make your descent and depart from the ship, you see that there are a number of vehicles sort of lined up in this departure, kind of like in an airport. These are, of course, basically rental cars, auto carriages for the city. They will take you where you need to go. You can pay them for their services as long as you want. Things like that. They're driving what looks to be it's sort of like if you imagine the old sort of 50 style Packers. They're long, they're sleek, they're low to the ground. If you open the door, or as the valet opens the door, you'll see it's like this plush leather seating. There's jars of liquor and cigars and low sticks. It's this sort of low orange light, very comfortable tinted windows, like very just plush. And you have your pick of any of them if you guys wanted to find one in particular to be rolling around the city in.
I just want some low sticks.
Yeah. I don't think it really matters. It's a vehicle.
Okay.
Question: what does a
Vehicles
tech
matter,
priest
but-
does in a place like this? Do you just get like oil baths?
I mean, oil baths are nice. Yes, there are many things a tech priest can do to have fun. You think I am incapable of enjoying myself? Get in car. I'm just gonna pick
Okay.
something
Alright.
that looks appropriately expensive.
Yeah, you pick
Who
a
we're portraying to be.
Figure
sleek.
Cadian auto carriage.
It's big. It's bigger. It's more of a limo. Yeah.
We need a bright neon green one.
Your skin still stings in the falling rain from the Kim scouring you've had to go through for the past few weeks to get the green off of you. Your mech androids are bright and shiny though.
Yeah, I look like I came fresh and new to this place, and it's great.
They're all nice and oiled up too because of the rain, so it's just slipping off of them. It's beautiful. You guys pick one at random. You managed to get one of the bigger ones to fit the tech priest. And this one's a low slung sort of large cab one. It seems to be able to fit around 6 to 8 people comfortably. It even has a low table sort of built into the carriage, and it's this sort of dark green with this gold highlights around the wheels and metalwork around the side. The driver is a sort of a younger looking woman wearing a very sort of prim and proper uniform sort of thing. She'll just give you guys a slight bow and open the door. Not ask any questions. Not say anything to you guys. Get back in, start the engine. You'll see a little microphone leading presumably into the front of the carriage, which is blocked off from you guys with soundproof glass. And you can sort of push the button and the speaker goes through. It's all wood paneled. It's all very like brass and copper and gold and the sort of warm metals and warm colors inside of this auto carriage. It almost makes you feel sleepy, like just the feeling of leisure and decadence. But yeah, where would you guys like to go?
Do you guys want to actually try to blend in, or should we go straight to business? Find the hotel.
Right, well, we should probably find some kind of place to, stash our things, a place to run back to, and then, I need another gun. Right, just the one ain't cut. In fact, I need 2 more guns, so we ought to do that too. Want some kind of arms dealer.
We'll hold gun talk for 1 moment, and then I'm gonna activate the microphone.
Okay.
Take us to nicest hotel in city. Thank you.
Okay.
Just to keep it off.
Yeah, the engine starts up. It does sound like a standard combustible engine, which is weird, but whatever. And you guys make your way into the city. The windows are heavily tinted, but you can still see out, and there are swarming masses of people in varying states of revel. Some of them are drunk, some of them are high, some of them look sober. Everyone is sole purpose here is to have a good time, and a lot of them are. You pass bright and shining, glittering casinos and tap houses and distillery halls and stores with fine silks and leathers and cloths, and there are dealerships for auto carriages and personal flight vehicles and anything you can think of, any pleasure, any vice, you can find it here. And the city is just glittering like a sort of just almost acid washed diamond of color and neon.
Okay then. Quick question. Did we bring like a data slate or anything like that? You have one usually, Phalos, correct?
Yeah, you guys can have a data slate.
Have my data slate.
Okay. So, I guess I'm not sure if we could use that for a data slate, but I guess we should set up a checklist. So, from what I understand, the guts would probably be the best place if we're searching for arms, potentially. Seems
I'll
like the
start
easiest place.
making a checklist since he's requested one.
Okay.
So, obviously, set up an hotel. Then, Barbosa, would you rather search for guns or begin investigating before we start arming ourselves?
Right, before I start picking my nose anywhere where it don't belong, I like to be able to make sure I can blast the nose off of anybody who don't like my nose where it's supposed to be, right?
Well, there is
Right.
a chance we will not be needing to shoot our way out of problem, and carrying more than we are may draw unnecessary attention. If you feel you need gun, buy gun, but no other side of consequence.
Right, well, in my experience, someone always needs shooting. So,
Well, there's always time for new experience.
All right. So objective 1, head to the guts, find arms dealer.
And maybe some drugs.
Maybe some drugs.
Barbosa's open to drugs.
You could buy those on like a street stand. It's like a fucking food vendor.
Hey, you!
But
what
like
drugs you
more
got on
combat drugs, kind of maybe something a little bit more,
Some class 3 shit.
yeah, a little more off the radar. I mean, coke's a hell of a drug, but you know, maybe something a little bit more.
You want like
crazier.
combat stems.
Well, so something interesting, you know. Barbosa's a man of, he's a man of culture. He likes to try new things.
Yeah.
You know.
Just not things that don't involve shooting people.
No, listen. He likes to shoot things. He likes to drink. He likes to do drugs, and he likes to fuck bitches. Okay, like he's a complicated individual. He has multifaceted interests.
He's just a dirty space pirate. It's not a complex character arc
No.
here.
Doesn't have to be. Question for two of you. We have established concept that we are wealthy men on vacation. Do we need to establish presence as such? Be seen doing wealthy vacation things? Or can we just stage operation from hotel room and presume no one will ask questions?
alright, I think it's to be seen, but not seen too hard, you know? Yeah, you should walk around, look the part, but I don't think we need anybody paying any extra attention to us.
Few
Yes,
things here or
because
there, but usually within this area of investigation, I would assume.
if we've learned habits of Maskis John, I am looking at the name I wrote down, Macasis John, and or those involved with this distillery, and be involved in same place at same time, and be noticed and seen as wealthy, maybe we have opportunity to strike up conversation, bring them to us. Maybe we need to be trying to make appointment, reach out directly, or possibly, if the crew power on the planet learns that the distillery has invited right of inquisition, they may be willing to cooperate to keep things flowing steady.
Hmm.
They survive at the behest of Emperor.
That's a good
We
point.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe save that for after we have a little bit of sneaky time, right? So
I
we
do-
can see, and then after we can't see nothing good, then then you go and start the stabbing.
I do enjoy the concept of us going around, especially if we go to the high roller locations. We could potentially get a little bit more of an idea of the personality of this individual we're looking for. Being someone of such of a high caliber family, there's probably a reputation of him at some of these higher casinos, potentially. So we could look there as well, just to get a good idea of who this person is.
It is good this place to start as any.
Right. Well, you ain't gonna go convince me to go gamble. But first, I need a gun, and then I can go gamble.
Don't you already have a gun?
I need more guns.
Right now, you guys are headed towards the nicest hotel in the city.
We're gonna go to the nicest hotel, check in first, check out our room, and then move on to the guts.
Okay. Yeah, it's so I did have there is a distance key on this. 1 grid square equals 10 kilometers. It's a big city.
Holy shit.
These main thoroughfares, though, you're going fast, so it's not going to take you too long to get to where the hotel is. It's going to be in the Cotton Swallow, and it's going to be right here. No, that's not what I want. I want that. Come on, brain. We'll call it. We'll just call it this area right about here.
And then is the name of the hotel the Season of 4?
The what?
The Season of 4?
No. It is Sistica's Embrace.
Oh, so the hotel that we're staying in is owned by the company we're investigating?
Well, it's definitely a
Intriguing.
place to start. That's gonna be interesting.
As the maids start trying to assassinate us.
Do we want to stick at this place, considering it has connections?
You don't know if it has connections.
We could potentially.
It's called Sistika!
It's called Sistik.
The distillery's name is Sistika Distillery. The guy you're trying, and it's a family-run business. The guy who you're looking for who runs the business is called Macassus John.
Right, but the hotel you just said is called Sistika too, right?
It's called Sistica's Embrace.
Yeah, so Sistika.
You don't know what it means. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no, like, until you like figure out what the meaning of that word is.
Oh.
Like, it could be anything.
Well, Barbosa thinks that it's owned by the same people. So
Yeah.
he's going to be very suspicious of the maids.
Paranoid already.
Exactly. Room service? Hell no.
All right. Yeah, as the auto carriage
Still
pulls
like
up.
ladies. Panics.
Oh God, they're here already. We're doomed. As you guys sort of pull up underneath the overhang of the valet service, a number of human valets will usher out and begin unpacking your guys' bags and opening the doors for you and bowing and greeting you. The two of them will open the doors for the three of you, and there's going to be a large, sort of vaulted, almost ballroom-like reception area. There's going to be lots of tables and chairs. There's going to be a long wooden bar. The carpet is not, or the floor is not carpet. Unfortunately, it is tile. It's very Art Deco in its style. Again, those sort of warm decadence to the feel and the smell and the music being played. There's a live band in the corner, just sort of strumming on stringed instruments, a few, drums and wind instruments as well, just producing this sort of almost like surly sort of vibe to the room. The receptionist is a servitor. And as you guys approach, what would you like to do?
So then, what do you guys want to get as rooms? We could just go and see if we can try to get one of the highest locations in this building.
Always like having a good sight line.
I want to kind of swagger up to the receptionist and be like, right, lady. Even though I know she's a servitor, it's still a lady.
What's the fanciest room you got in this place?
The servitor will make a number of dial-up noises as it cogitates what you said to it. And then you will see on a sort of screen that has taken up the majority of its upper face, a sort of readout will occur, stating a room, the floor, and then the price. There's a lot of zeros after the price, but that doesn't really matter to you guys.
Right.
I'm gonna pick the one with the most zeros on the highest floor, and I'm gonna poke her face and see if it's a touchscreen.
It is a touchscreen. It is a touchscreen, fortunately. Yeah, so it is confirmed, and you set up the transaction from the inquisitorial banks, which is fed through a variety of different sections and transfer lines and stuff like that. It's science, don't worry about it. You don't even know how it works. You just know you plug the thing in and money works.
It just does it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
The transfer goes through, and since you haven't been very quiet about this, a few people have drawn their eyes, and a few of them would be like, a few of the men and women in the area will sort of be like eyeing you guys and like looking at you sort of flirtily. A few of them will just sort of be raising their eyebrows and sort of looking like God damn, okay, high roller. A few of them will be looking a little jealous. Some of them looking a little ruffled. Maybe they're a little hard on their luck. But yeah.
So how high up did we get, Barbosa?
It's not very high up.
Not very high up?
Arguably. It's the 137th floor.
Pretty high up.
It's a
It's not as
300 story.
high-
It's a 300-story building.
It's not as high up as that last building we're in, though.
Yeah. None of the buildings around here are that high.
Well,
They
I wanted
keep
to make
them-
sure in case a window blows in, the window will suck you all out of the building, throw you down. I figure
Yeah.
a little bit lower might be safer.
Yeah. The buildings are built lower specifically because of the high like winds and stuff like that. Yeah, they literally can't build higher than that. They are still very high. They're superstructures for sure. As you ascend in the lift and eventually come out to the room, it is a villa. There are multiple rooms. There's no kitchen, because who the fuck cooks in the 31st millennium? Many bedrooms, sort of a lounge, a full bar with a servitor staffed at it, a lounging area, and this sort of very long, wide, sort of curved, curtained window, which overlooks sort of one of these main roads through the city. You cannot see the ocean. The buildings block out the sky for the most part, but it is a view. You know, the glass, which you assume is glass, is probably more of a plastic, is about 5 or 6 feet thick, from your judgment. But it's completely soundproof and probably extremely resistant to the weather and most small arms fire.
Tempted to test that, but no. What I'm gonna do immediately is start like. Is there a concept of like bugs, like like spy tech in the 41st millennium, like listening devices and such? Was that something that people would know about?
I've never seen that used. It's usually psychic if they want to like spy on someone.
Okay, so it's not like I'd have to be flipping over lamps looking for any kind of. Because I'm just like, I'm a little paranoid.
No,
I
you
wanna make
can
sure.
you can definitely still look.
I just don't know if that's even something that would be reasonably like thought.
It's
to
just
be
not something I've ever thought about, honestly. You know, like, why rely on technology when you can psychically fuck someone in the head and get all the information you want? Anyway, you can check it out, though, to make sure there's not, like, booby traps or assassins or gremlins.
Yeah, I'll like look around. I'll like clear the space as soon as
Okay.
we get in there. I'll look in all the closets, poke behind all the curtains, make sure there's no one hiding anywhere.
Yeah, give me some sort of check.
Just roll a D100. Just throw it out there. Just
One moment. Give me a scrutiny check. Plus 20.
So it'll just be flat. Well, target would have been let's see, what's my intelligence? 30. So no, I didn't get it.
Okay, it looks clear.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The servitor is a little maybe sketchy, but you can also dismiss it if you want. It has a little command wand set up at the end of the bar. Command wand is a remote in the 40k universe.
So it's just chilling in there, or it's just like
It's just sitting there, ready to serve you at the bar. The bar is big enough for maybe about 10 people to be sitting at. This is a big villa. There's about there's 10 bedrooms. Like, the lounge area has multiple tables and like couches and areas and designated places set up. There's a stage if you want to call a band in.
seems like you got the party area.
Right, well, see, normally it devolves into a bit of a party, so we might like the room a little bit later on, right?
But I'm gonna walk over to the bar, pick up that remote control, and click at the buttons until the thing walks out of there, because I can pour my own damn drinks.
Alright, yeah, it leaves. It starts making a drink as you're just pushing button to button. Like, it starts trying to do stuff, and then you cancel the command instead of do something else. So it kind of like glitches for a second, then it just leaves.
It just explodes. Okay, then.
The doors leading into this villa, it's a mechanical lock. It's not like fancy sliding doors. They're wood. They're nice. It's like the outside of this building is still very much standard Imperial Gothic design. But the presence of wood on this planet is probably a sign of like wealth, since there is no wood left on this planet.
Okay, then.
So they're these big, thick, dark wooden doors. They're probably about half a foot thick. Heavily, like, they're soundproof. They're pretty strong, but they're not like, you know, security doors.
So people could
I'm
break
assuming
in.
there's like multiple bedrooms.
Yeah, there's 10 bedrooms.
I'll find the one with the least amount of windows looking into it and claim that one as mine.
Cool. There's not a lot of windows in this complex. There's a couple in a few bedrooms, but they're relatively small. The windows seem to be a sort of structural design choice, and again, a sort of show of wealth rather than safety. Because if the wind's blowing 300 miles an hour and it picks up a rock, that rock is now traveling 300 miles an hour. So,
I don't want to get sniped or anyone
yeah.
see me. So
no,
I
it's
figure
those
I'll find
windows.
the darkest cave that I can find.
No, yeah, perfectly fine. Yeah, it's in one of the back corner bedrooms. It's not small, but it is like dark and cozy. It's very narrow. Yeah. What would you guys like to do as you sort of now have the room at the Sistica's Embrace?
Okay, then. So it's only one door leading into this one room, correct, as well? It's just one door?
Yep. But it leads into this sort of big open area where the bar and the lounge and all that is. It's very open. And then there's, just rows of doors on this it's sort of a circumferal room in total, and the doors are on the outer edges that lead to these little bedrooms.
Okay.
You have like you see like in hotels we would go to, like just the scrolling ad of the various stuff to do in the area. But something that just
No.
lists like attractions in the hotel.
No, there is not. You're looking for like a registry?
Essentially something that'll tell me if I just wanted to call it up, a list of just like here's what the hotel has to offer, or here's what the city.
Yeah.
Try and find the most expensive and or most popular things. Try and get a place to start.
They wouldn't have that. You would be able to order room service through the servitor. But they wouldn't have anything like that. A, because they don't give a shit. And B, because it's more of a word of mouth thing and an influence thing here. It's like, I don't need to know where to go. I already know where to go because I'm that fucking cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's very much more like a word of mouth thing. There isn't any... Like, the vaulted places, you're going to find them. You're going to find the places that they want you to go. Either through just asking around, or word of mouth, or a drunken rage that sends you there. That depends, but you're going to find them.
Well, then after just putting my stuff in a room, it doesn't matter, it's a room. Well, did we want to make weapons a priority, or did we want to start spread out? Do
Weapons,
things?
mate, are always a priority.
Weapons out of the way now would be much better than later, when potentially we're more discovered. Things go wrong.
And did you want to go buy weapons, or attempt to have them sent down from the Constant Vigil?
Let's see what they got first, yeah? Might have something fancy.
Well, then
Plus.
by all means.
Plus, it does not have the chance of coming back to us and being the Inquisition.
Fair enough. I assume we do not want to take fancy car to a place called the Guts.
Why not?
The guts is like the slang term of it. It's not like the official name of the part of the city. That's sort of just the natural lingo of the area.
Well, considering where we're at and everything, it'd be much better to go by the vehicle, honestly.
We'll want to take vehicle. I did not suggest walking. I am
There
saying that
is-
we do not flash wealth in the rough side of town.
There is public transport through a series of trams that like snake their way through the city. There's a rail system.
Also, if you are wanting to buy gun and have no one notice you, do not drive memorable car that people will talk about when you have gone. Is my only point. We can take car.
Wait, is the same chick that brought us here waiting for us, or did she just drive off?
Did you pay her to wait?
I intentionally didn't, but someone else might have thought to.
Yeah, I think that she probably just drove off.
Yeah. Probably just drove off, so we can get a different car each time.
That's true. You want to mix it up? You could also just go buy a car.
And then
Probably not a
drive
Acadian
us
one, though.
around.
You know why? Because the planet's fucking gone.
Don't worry, we
No.
do know a guy that's really good at painting cars, though.
That's true. Yeah, you guys should just chat up Sergeant Typhons.
It's funny, we don't hear about anyone nearly falling to their death when I'm do a grappling hook mishap every time, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. I'll roll with it. I'll roll with my green car. I'm proud of it.
We haven't
Anyway.
gone into the grappling parts yet.
Well, I will be there when we do. We can take different car each time, but if someone says, hey, who bought that gun? They drove off in this car, then I go find the car driver and ask questions.
Well, either way, they're going to have an idea of who we are. We are, well, at least some of us are pretty obvious.
Well, it does not help to just add on top of this. It is rude to talk about Barbossa's accent right in front of him. He is in the room.
Well, here's the good thing. His accent changes in the degrees of how drunk he gets, to the point where it's just guttering.
Right.
Are you already drunk?
I've been at the bar this entire time you guys have been talking. Like, definitely been at the bar just drinking profusely.
So, should we see what guns they have here? If not, then we'll at least have to try to call in and see what we can get back from the ship.
Let us start here. If nothing else, we can put out the idea that we have money and are willing to spend on things not normally allowed to purchase. May bring contact for later.
Okay.
If we are quiet.
So you guys want to try and buy guns legally or illegally?
We'll see what.
Let's see what's legal first, and then.
Yeah,
see what's
I don't
illegal.
know.
first.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys exit back out of the hotel. Find another car. This one is maroon with these sort of brass elegries and filigrees along the sides. It's a lot more arty. More air and open inside. Sort of a clean smell to it. Only clear liquor. But whatever. As you're making the drive, I assume, what do you tell the driver?
What does the driver look like?
The driver is a dark-skinned man. Sort of portly, big belly. Uniform is exactly identical to the last woman's, though.
Does he look like the kind of guy who knows where to find things? Does he have a vibe about him, like he's maybe somebody who, you know, could tell you where to find some trouble, or does he just seem like another guy?
I don't know. Like, what are you trying to get from him? Like, what would you ask him?
Well, just like, how does it, like, does he look skeezy?
No, he does not look skeezy at all. He looks very
like
primitive.
very professional and everything.
Yeah. So did the woman.
Is hunting still a thing?
Not on this planet.
Fishing?
Actually elsewhere?
Yeah.
Just wondering how strange it would be to pin the idea of a gun on hunting if we're not going to do it.
If you want to ask him to take you to a weapons dealer, he can take you to a weapons dealer. I'll take you to a legal one. If you're trying to ask him about shady shit, he's not going to be able to answer those questions.
We said we would start with legal and go from there. For now, weapons dealer.
Check out the weapons dealer. See what they find. You never know.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so as you give him the instructions for weapons dealer, he'll just start driving again. He'll take you southward in the city, more towards the guts, but not totally towards there. You guys are more in this area at this point. And this area does seem to be more shops and stores and boutiques and stuff like that. And he'll pull up to it has, for starters, 2 guards out front. And this sort of deep blue and sort of cream colored carapace armor. And they have shock mauls and we'll say bolt pistols.
I want a bolt pistol.
Yeah. And they are sort of standing guard outside of these very heavy. These ones it's still a very nice architecture, but this one looks much more defensible and hey, do not fuck around here. From looking at these guys and from the information you learned off of the Cultural Servitor, you do know that these are the planetary peacekeepers.
So the planetary badasses, basically.
They are the planetary bribed cops that get rid of troublemakers.
Got it.
Everything flows and everything's decadent in Halcyon, but you better fucking not cause ripples.
Got it.
Like, do your thing, but
Don't cause trouble.
yeah. Yeah, and the car will pull up. Valet will get out and open the door for you all and just be sitting there waiting. It is raining heavily. Umbrellas don't exist.
Damn.
I've never seen a reference to an umbrella in my entire reading of thousands of pages of 40K. I've never seen an umbrella. So,
Who needs an umbrella?
yeah. We're not here for comfort.
So we got bolt pistols and
They have
shotguns.
bolt pistols.
They have bolt pistols and shotguns. I missed
Oh, I thought.
No,
yeah.
you
How
guys,
do you
you
split
guys.
up
There's
someone
no
who
like
gets
windows
shot?
into the store. You guys are still in the car. These are what the guards have on them.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. That's what they're holding. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they are not fucking around.
You see that puddle right there? That used to be a person. Can't tell right now, but it was.
Alright.
Okay,
Ready
then.
to head in.
You
Guess
guys,
let's go inside.
guys make your way in. The guards will stop you and ask you to display all your weapons. You don't have to like take them out of their holsters or anything, but you have to show them.
I'll just kind of lift up my side of my one.
The trench coat,
Just show the hand the hand cannon.
All right. They'll look you guys all over and nod and open the doors for you. And inside, it's very well lit. No wood, metal, grills, things on racks. All the weapons are very nice, though. They're very ornate. It's actually, as you look around, you see immediately, it is entirely pistols. In some way, shape, or form. It is pistols and rapiers and swords and dueling weapons and very ornate sort of daggers and stuff like that. They might have other stuff. They'll actually also have personal refractor fields on display. They have 2 of them. And there is a sort of elderly man with this sort of stringy, wispy white hair behind the counter. There are also 4 guards in the room, each at one corner. These ones do not have bolt pistols. They have just standard las pistols. They do also have shock mauls, though. Probably not to damage the merchandise with all the explosions that a bolt pistol causes. But as you guys enter, he will sort of stand up and sort of present himself proudly. He's wearing a sort of actually the same sort of color scheme as the guards, this sort of deep blue and cream-colored vanilla vest and white button-up shirt and slacks, and he's very prim, very proper. He has a pair of bifocals and a little wispy mustache. He's a very old man. A number of neural imports along his arms and skull. The sort of scar tissue around them, very old and almost translucent with age. But he presents himself proudly as, "Oh, welcome to my store. What can I do for you?"
Just looking around for potential souvenirs while here.
Well, of course, we offer everything allowed on the planet. Of course, there's a very heavy restriction on firearms. You understand, with all the frivolity going around.
Of course, makes sense.
Right, what do you mean by frivolity?
Well, a lot of alcohol and drugs and women and men will cause someone to do insane things sometimes, and they deemed it necessary that we limit the damage that could be done.
Just how limited we talking, like? What's the biggest, fanciest gun you got in here, huh?
The biggest, fanciest gun. We'll sort of cock an eyebrow at that and lead you over to a display case where there is a wood sort of case inside of the display case, lined with this sort of deep fur, and there's this ornate looking dueling pistol inside. It looks to be made of wood and some sort of maybe silvered metal. There are designs and filigrees upon it. It's a very beautiful looking weapon. Has a very long, braided, elegant tassel attached to the hilt. It comes with its own oiled holster and this sort of dark, almost patchy print leather. Beautiful weapon, but it is a dueling pistol. He goes, "This is our prize piece at the moment. For, of course, noble exploits."
Right, maybe something a little less fancy, a little bit more practical. You catch my running on more something. Well, see, I'm a man of means, you understand, but out in space, doing my rogue trader, and want to need something I can rely on with a little bit bigger clip, maybe, than a dueling pistol.
Of course. And he'll sort of saunter around the counter, picking at things like, no. He'll produce an auto pistol. Or, no, a stub automatic. Sort of, it looks almost like pearl on the handles in this very dark metal finish. Again, it's very smooth and very sort of almost extended and big. It's chunky for a pistol. It looks almost like at a comical in size. Because this is an interesting piece I purchased off a rogue trader vessel some time ago, taken from the fringes.
I'll kind of just pick it up and twirl it around my finger and do some desperado shit and
It's
see how
heavy.
it balances and everything.
It's heavy. It's like a hunk of iron in your hands. All the mechanics seem to work. Have you ever seen Hellboy's pistol in the first movie? How it's that sort of
The
rough
big
looking.
jumbo, yeah.
It's kind of like that in its design. Carries a massive round. But it's nice. I mean, it's interesting weapon. It'll
kinda
have
like-
certain specs to it.
I'll kind of fiddle around and be like,
Roy, what you got that'll pair well with this? Something companion piece.
He sort of looks at the size of it. A companion piece. My friend, unless you're hiding a few more arms on your body, that's going to be a little more than you can handle.
it's a stub automatic, so it doesn't technically require two hands, right?
This one does. It's also
So-
does more. It's not technically a stub automatic. It's
It's basically a hand cannon.
a homebrewed thing, yeah. It's basically a hand cannon with a stub automatics magazine.
That's me.
I'll be like, right, alright, so I'm gonna kind of pull out my hand cannon and be like, right, I got this piece of crap because my shit. Long story, right? So I do like something flashy to have on me hip as a main, but I also like to have a little bit of two-handed. Sometimes you gotta keep guns on two different blokes at the same time. So if I was to get that one to replace this one, what would you give me to have, two other little backup? Something keep on the sly.
Oh, you want something they won't see coming.
Right, I pop off a shot with this thing, and then I'll slip my hand in my back, and oh look, I got another bullet coming at you.
Well, are you looking for a weapon or a blade?
I prefer keeping my enemies at a distance. But what you got? Show me what you got, mate. I've got money to spend.
Sort of look around, biting his lip for a second, thinking on it. Yeah, maybe. maybe. And we'll sort of go to the other side of the room. There's a few. I guess my camera didn't like me doing that. There's a few energy weapons. Most of his stuff is ballistic. He has a few energy weapons over here. There are no plasma pistols, before you ask.
Damn.
Yeah. And he has, it looks to be a heavily modified las pistol. It's very small, probably about the size of an iPhone. It's like a pocket las. It's like you could stow this away fairly easily. It only carries 5 shots for the cell, but as a holdout weapon, no one's really gonna look it over too hard. And it's very inconspicuous. It's very small. It unfolds. So it's basically about the size of like an iPhone when it's all folded up, and then it sort of robos out into a sort of small holdout las gun.
And then, is it just the same damage like a normal las pistol or something?
It's easier to conceal. So you're gonna get
So
a
easily
bonus
concealable.
on hiding it, yeah, if you're getting looked over.
I'm gonna kind of like rub my chin and be like, right, not too big on them energy things. I like to see blood when I hit something, you know, make sure I landed my punch. What you got just in the way of, you got anything like a auto gun, auto pistol, anything like that? Or a bolter, you saw them blokes outside with bolters. You got any of them? I'd be loving to get my hands on one of them.
No, I'm afraid that ordinance of that measure is restricted under planetary law.
Oh well. Hey, got any recoil gloves? I know you got some recoil gloves. I've been looking for.
He
recoil
does not.
glove
He
across
doesn't
3
have.
systems.
He doesn't have a recoil glove.
I would definitely like to take a look at that last pistol, though.
Las pistol?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass on the last pistol. My eyes are just on the heavy one so far, so I'll let somebody else poke around for a minute.
So the last pistol is going to be an influence roll of -10.
-10. So that means I got to get a third. Lower.
Wow. Okay, yeah. You think it's within your budget. So he will wrap it for you in this nice box. And hand it over. It's a standard little carrying case. It's metal. It's plush inside where it sits in. Looks custom built. Yeah, so it's a standard las pistol. It gives you a +30 when you're trying to conceal it. And it only has 5 shots for the charge pack.
And the last pistol's reload.
It is also inaccurate.
Ooh.
It is inaccurate, but it is reliable.
If I'm right, inaccurate gives like a -10.
You can't aim.
You can't aim.
Yeah. Because it's basically a holdout spray and pray last
So
ditch gun.
that's pretty much something you'd pull out when somebody's up close and personal.
That's like, yeah, if you're like in a meeting and they pat you down for weapons and shit goes south, you can pull out your little fucking, Derringer and pop a few rounds into them.
Okay. I can definitely come into use.
Phalos, are you looking for anything? They have melee weapons too. He has a lot of like fine swords and dueling rapiers and shit like that.
Is there a lightsaber?
There's not a lightsaber. Those don't exist.
Damn.
There
Well,
are. He wouldn't have a power sword.
Nah.
He might have some mono blades, but
Ooh.
I would look. I mean, if there's anything that just jumps at me, I was fine with the weapons I came in with because I'm not necessarily outfitted for that sort of thing.
Who needs
So it's
more
like, yeah,
guns?
I have a gun that can shoot people and a stick I can hit people with.
Sure.
But if there's something that's just an obvious, easy upgrade for either one, practical about
the
it.
biggest thing would be the personal refractor fields. That's basically a force field.
I mean,
It would also is like a technological miracle. Like you'd probably cream your tech priest genes just seeing that.
That's a big deal.
yeah.
have
And when you
those.
said it the first time, it stood out to me, and then we were talking about guns so long.
Mm.
I will definitely inquire about a personal refractor field.
Okay, 1 second.
That sounds neat.
I can't find it. One sec. Ah, here we go. So it is very rare. So it's gonna be minus 30 for the roll.
Well, again, as in many of these, theoretically possible. Gotta roll a 3 or less.
You got this.
Okay. Now,
I gotta stop asking for these impossible things because I've been rolling consistently well.
you're taking a look at it, and you know that you have a lot of wealth as an Inquisitor. You're looking at the price on this thing. You probably shouldn't be spending money on that.
Sure.
But yeah, they're nice.
Well, I will spend more time than I should pondering what that is. And then just look at the melee things. I mean, the gun I had beforehand, the truncheon was handed to me
Yeah.
in the midst of just wandering around the planet's surface, so it's probably something more apt.
Yeah, I mean, he has some very nice swords. He has a couple mono blades. He doesn't have any chain weapons. There's no power swords. So he'll have a couple mono knives and a couple mono swords. And the mono swords range from what look to be they're mostly like dueling swords. They're like rapiers or these sort of thin, almost stiletto type long swords that might be native to the planet. They're still usable weapons. It's not like just because they're a dueling weapon that they're going to be less durable, because dueling is, a thing that happens.
Yeah, I'll look over. I mean, something similar, probably, maybe a little bit longer, but roughly, I don't want to get something massive.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly.
Yeah, you could. A monosword is a. Let me check. Oh my god. Ah, no, not that. Where's the table? There we go. Oh my god. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. So it's going to be minus... We'll call it minus 10 for the mono sword.
Then let's take a look at that.
Yeah. None of the mono swords are really catching your eye. You're taking a look at them and looking them over, but they look frail or too elegant or just not what you're feeling. And you're just, nah.
And that's all fine. I'm mostly here killing time with the people who wanted more guns are doing their thing.
Yeah. But that's going to be about the extent of his stock. There's, of course, normal stub automatics, stub revolvers, hand cannon, shit like that. But the items he's shown you are going to be his big stuff.
So what I would want to do, I just want to get the fancy thing that he showed me, the fancy gun, and then like
Okay.
either a stub revolver, or a stub automatic, or an auto gun, or an auto pistol, just some other random little side thing.
As you start pointing out multiple things, you will go, just so you're aware of planetary ordinance, you can't actually have the weapon displayed on you. You're only allowed one. It has to be
Right.
locked up in the case.
Right, not a problem. It's to take off planet AC. I'm just gonna be taking it with me.
Sort of raise an eyebrow, of course. So I'm pretty sure the stub automatic. Do you want automatic or a stub revolver?
Stub, same full. We'll just call it a stub automatic because I already have one of those built into my character sheet.
Okay. Yeah, and that's basically like a 9mm.
Yeah, it's basically. I figure it's like a
those-
1911 basically
Yeah.
because it's got like a 9-round clip.
Mm. Those are
I think they're like
average.
Yeah.
So I think that's +0.
Let me see. Where's my-
I can't fuck around with the quick reference or else.
Yes, +0.
0.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still gonna be it's gonna be -20 for the big one.
Okay, for the chunky one.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
And then just a normal +0 for the stub automatic.
Okay, so my influence is 38 +0 for the normal one.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I don't have.
You
the
don't find
second
one. You don't find one you like. Yeah.
And then you said it was gonna be minus how much for the other one?
-20. Unless someone else wants to try and help, or if you want to finagle the price or something like that.
Let me see. Is there anything wrong with it? Can I roll to see if there's any like scratch or slight imperfection anywhere in the body of the thing, so I can like harp on that?
No, it's rugged, but its ruggedness is its aesthetic.
Aesthetic. Okay, so let me see. This
I'll make an
minus
attempt to work on the price with him.
Okay.
This is
We're
blather
seriously
technical
looking.
specs.
Yeah, just blather about wind velocity and bullet drop and temperature effect, and he's gonna be like, oh, yes, of course. And he'll try to be like coming up with answers to your questions to try and sell it, but it's clear that he's like stumbling. So go ahead and take the +10.
Okay, so it'll be minus 10 then. So fingers crossed. Aha!
Alright, he will give it to you.
Okay, so-
You will manage to talk his price down. Enough. He's not gonna. There's no holster for it. It's gonna fit. It'll
that
fit
one's
in
gonna
a.
be my
It'll
holdout
fit.
for now.
Okay, that's your holdout. The thing's fucking huge.
I know, but eventually I will have 2 recoil gloves, and it won't matter anymore. But so what I'll do is I'll say I'll take it and put it in the holster where my hand cannon used to be because it's fancier. And then I'll take my hand cannon. I'll just kind of like jam it in the back of my pants underneath my coat. Just kind of stuff it in the back, like.
Well, I'm gonna
That's
say you do that outside because he just
Or I'll
told you it was
I'll
against
even-
the law.
What I'll say is I'll just give him. I'll just
He'll-
give him the hand. I'll
he'll
just
give it
in
to you.
trade or something
Oh.
like that.
Sure. Yeah, he'll take your
Say
hand
that's how I got the
cannon.
price
You guys
down.
talk the price down. Yeah, that works. So, its stats. Pistol. The range is going to be 50 meters, not 35.
Cool.
Single shot, still. The magazine is 8. 1d10 plus 4i.
Okay.
Pin 2.
Cool. So yeah, it's basically
2
hand
full,
cannon.
yeah. So yeah, it's still, and we'll do 1 full reload.
1. Okay.
Because it's, no,
It's got a
no,
clip
no,
instead of a cylinder.
Yeah. Because it's not a hand cannon. It's auto pistol. Yeah, that's special. Yeah. So it's still 1 full for the reload, and then yeah, it just has basically the stats of the hand cannon. So the pin 2, clip I said 8. Yeah.
And then could I have also, I don't know, I'll roll for it, but I wanted to get a mono knife if possible.
Mono knife, yeah, it's -10.
Are you still helping me, Phalos?
I don't-
How it's not true mono
I don't think,
molecularness.
Yeah. I don't think Phalos would be the one to help with the melee weapon aspect.
I'm just teasing. Oh, I got it anyways.
And he'll hand over a mono knife as well. He'll just give it to you with the gun, we'll say. Just a knife. It's a short little curved blade, kind of chunky. Looks almost like maybe it was influenced off of like a fishing knife or a seafaring knife of some sort, like thick, heavy blade for chopping. But it's nice, and it's mono, so that gives it takes away the primitive quality, and gives it a pen of 2.
Okay, cool. Still 1d5, right?
Yep, 1d5, pen 2. All right. Anything else that you guys want to do in here?
I was good with the show.
That would be about it.
All right. So he will bid you all adieu. You guys will be led out with your packages to the car, which I'm going to assume you guys told this guy to wait.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, we are actually due for another break, so we'll do that. This is gonna be probably our last break for the night. We're gonna have a little bit more game time tonight, guys. If you're watching, thank you for watching. This is Dark Heresy Whispers of the Eye. We are streaming on Total Tabletop, and we are going to be back in just a minute. So stay tuned, and we're going to see what these guys get into. How do you guys plan on finding illegal arms dealer? Combat shotgun's broken. You can mod it too. Yep. Or another hit. Yeah. I mean, it's realistic. Yeah. So for XP after the session tonight, I'm not sure. I'll go. Hopefully, Sean can join the decompression. I'm gonna bounce it off of him about giving Brian XP. It's not his fault that he missed the session, but he also wasn't here. So that's something we should discuss as a group. We'll discuss it afterwards, because I want to make sure it's something that's cool with all of us in case one of us misses it. I want to have like a set bar for expectations. Yeah. Give me a few more seconds. Armor isn't something that's gonna be sold. Like, it's like, here's like, how many gun stores do you see, like, in, you know, a normal city, and then how many of those stores are selling ballistic armor? You know, it's like finding an armor smith or finding someone to sell armor is significantly harder than finding weapons. And there wouldn't really be a reason for people on a pleasure world to need armor. So it's going to be another one of those sort of locked down peacekeeping initiatives. It's like duels are allowed on this planet. Like, dueling is allowed because it's a legal process, but that sort of gives them an outlet for the angry, violent people. There's also like fights and, you know, betting and stuff like that, but so they want to encourage dueling as a way to stop all-out like gun battles and shit like that. If you want to try and rob the police armory, you go right ahead. We virus bomb the whole planet. Oh shit, we've been...
So it's just one
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize I'd been unmuted for some time. Welcome back. This is the stream. We're going to finish up. So the Warband had just finished shopping for a few little weapons at a arms dealer within the city. They didn't really find what they were looking for. A few interesting items, but nothing insane. And now they are trying to find a way to sort of tap in to the supposed illegal arms trade in this city. So what would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna so is there a window where they can like see in the back, or is it just like an intercom thing from the car for the driver?
Just an intercom.
So I'm gonna like get over by it and push and be like,
Right, mate. So, here's the thing. That shop was good and all, but where's the real part here? I know you gotta know about places, you know, a little off the beaten path. That place is a little bit more fun for, you know, customers of distinguished taste.
Oh.
it's a pleasure world. There's gotta be fucked up shit.
I'm thinking. Give me a charm test. Plus 10.
Might as well say like fucking levitate.
Use your psyker ability. Okay, that's easier.
Charm is, oh, not even fellowship, it's charm, so minus 20 plus, so minus 10. I think I have to score like a 17. It's not, I forgot it does the minus 20, so it would have been minus 30, so yeah, I would have had to, oh yeah, no, negative 3 would have been my target.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a few seconds pause, and then the voice will come back. If you were unsatisfied with that establishment's stock, I can take you to another business within city regulation.
Right, yeah, could do that, but you see,
Hold on.
don't even worry about the guns, mate. Just, well, what's the good part of town, right? Where's the fun part of town?
With your shitty charm roll,
Do you want me to try and persuade him, or is he just going to lock down on us now?
with your shitty charm roll, he's not gonna like disobey you. He's gonna take you to a very nice looking casino. It's back up towards the Cotton Swallow.
Once I see that we're headed that way, I'm just gonna roll my eyes and be like, you try.
Clicking on the microphone. Excuse me, sir, I think my friend was a little bit, harsh when explaining, or at least not clear when doing so. We're hoping to find something more powerful, interesting to bring back on our travels through space, considering there's quite dangerous things there. So, you seem like somebody that would at least have an idea. Would you be able to, at least show us the way?
Charm plus 10.
And I'm helping. I'm gonna yell, Roy! Into the thing.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Is this plus gonna fuck everything up? Let's see. It did fuck everything. Well, the target is, 10 plus, yeah, pass.
Pass?
Roy!
Double checking that.
Because
I don't believe you. Oh, you're trained in charm.
I am
Look at
trained
you.
in charm.
See the face.
That's the funny thing. Lobos is the face, even though he's technically also the quiet one, which is funny.
Okay.
So I needed to roll a 50 or lower.
So there's gonna be a few seconds pause,
Or actually 60.
and you guys are gonna pull off into an alley. I'm gonna go. It goes in a ways. It's dark in here. There's glow globes that set off this sort of dirty fluorescent yellow light. From outside the windows, you can see these sort of skittering vermin. It looks like some sort of maybe like gecko or salamander or amphibian sort of slithering around into the shadows as you pass by. They're like the size of cats. They'll just sort of pull up to a light pretty deep into this alleyway. It's about a 200-meter alley. You guys are about in the middle. You'll sort of stop the car, turn off the engine, and you'll see through the windows. He'll get out, and you'll see him sort of light a low stick and be sort of waiting.
I think this is our stop. Barbosa.
Roy. I'm gonna hop out and grin and be like, good on you, mate.
And you'll see that now that you're in this sort of secluded spot, he sort of lets the face drop. Sort of slunched over. He looks old and looks tired. He's puffing on his low, so he's like, yeah, alright. Maybe I know a guy knows a guy. Could find you guys something a little more than what you can find in places like that.
What do you see?
You didn't hear it from me, though. Drag on that.
I'm a light a low stick in commisery with him and be like, well, I didn't hear nothing at all. You just gotta point me in the right direction and I'll forget we ever had a run in, yeah.
All right. We'll sort of take another drag. Say you go down into the guts. There's a flesh house there called the Bloody Gash.
Ew.
Yeah. Take another drag. You look for a guy named Biggs. You won't miss him. Name matches the face. Tell him Lemon sent you. And that you're picking up a bottle for his grandmother.
Right. Sounds bloody good to me, mate. Well, much appreciated.
Sort of take another drag. Yeah, you never saw me though. Never saw me at all. And he'll get back into his car and drive away, leaving you guys there.
That works. I'm sure there's cabs.
Yeah. Give me a D100.
Me?
Anyone.
Everybody?
Anyone.
Somebody.
Alright. Phalos, as you see this interaction happening and Barbosa chatting with this guy sort of being shit, you're looking around. You notice these slithering creatures with your Mechadandre, and there seems to be two of them. And they're just creeping on in. And they're big. They're like this long, like these lizards. And you see that they have these like rows of tiny little microscopic needle-like teeth. Sort of just slouching down low and getting pretty close to you in the darkness. It doesn't seem to think you can see it, and you wouldn't, as it's mostly translucent. But with your Mechadandrite, you can easily pick it up in the low light.
I'm going to, operating on the idea that it's reliant on not being seen, I'm going to get out my truncheon just in case, but I'm just going to hit it with the flashlight of that Mechadendrite and see if that's enough to send it off.
So you have the stab light on the Mechadandrite, and you're gonna poke one with it.
You're right. I keep forgetting it's a laser pointer more than a flashlight. Because that's not going to be a flash of anything. So...
Wait, it's just a laser pointer? I thought it also had a flashlight.
It's a
It's
stab
both.
light.
A stab light's like a really small
no,
flashlight.
it's not like a laser pointer. It's like a quarter-sized flat beam of light that's extremely focused. So it stabs out. It's like a very, very small illumination, but it's very bright and very focused.
It's like for detail work. Like imagine if you were doing like watch work or something like that, or you needed to look in like a little nook or cranny, or like working on an engine, and you needed a light to like shine in so you can see like one particular part that you're working on. Basically,
Yeah.
it's like a
I
hyper
will still
focus.
do that, though less about potentially scaring it away and more about highlighting it for everyone else. So I'm going to get my truncheon out and hit it with the stab light while drawing attention. Just lizards?
Yeah, so as you guys are wrapping up and this guy's driving away, you guys are turning back to, discuss what just happened, and Phalos is just like lizards, and you see him poke out with this stab light into this translucent, it has a lot of legs. It has 3 sets of legs, all sort of scuttering and clawing around with these sort of wide, almost these webbed clawed flippers. And as you poke with the stab light, the one will sort of shriek in surprise, the other one will launch itself at you.
Oh no. Phalos.
It is going to attack.
I got a whooping stick.
Alright, so it's gonna try to latch onto you. It's just gonna get a mouthful of your robe and be ripping at it like a wild dog, just like, you'll hear it's trying to tear a chunk out of it. The other one seems confused. I'll let Phalos react first, and then Lothos, then Barbosa.
action.
Okay.
I haven't used evasion much, but there's all-out attack is a full action.
Yep.
But I would give up that round's evasion reaction, so I just wouldn't be able to dodge. It sounds like.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Now go ahead and give me the weapon skill.
So that's a plus 30 from that. Any other modifiers?
No.
Then 69 is the number to beat.
Oh my god.
That was close.
That's known as skin of teeth.
Oh my fucking god. Go ahead and give me a D100 for hit location.
So I need to roll under a 69. Oh
Okay.
shit.
And a 37 is...
Torso, I believe.
Yes. Alright, and then give me damage. Alright, so you just fucking splatter this thing. As it latches onto your robes, you just instantly, you already have this truncheon. It's this long, sort of thick wooden, bulbous thing, and you just slam it down on this thing's head, and it just splits open. You hear the multiple teeth sort of crunch and punch through this sort of fleshy, blubbery skin, and it just stops moving instantly. I fucking killed it. 9 goddamn wounds, yeah. 6 wounds, but that's fine anyway. Alright, Lothos, there's still one left. It looked a little confused, so it's not really, it's sort of writhing on the ground real quick, not adjusted to the light that Lothos sort of pierced at it, which you did have to take off as you were reacting to the one gnawing at your robes, so it's sort of just floundering there for a second. It seems stunned.
Don't really have anything. Just kick it.
Just want to kick it?
Just kick it.
Oh
Oh wait, I do have a knife.
Yeah.
I do have a knife.
Yeah, weapon skill.
I don't aim with a knife. I don't think you aim with a knife.
Yeah. Weapon skill check. Or no aiming or anything like that, no. You do
Unless you're throwing.
all out attacks. You could throw it, yeah.
I'll go all out.
All out. Alright. Okay. Hit location. Okay, I think that's
That would be
torso as well. And go ahead and give me the damage, which I believe is a D5. 4? Alright, so you run up to this thing, pulling out this knife, not wanting to risk a shot in this alleyway, and just sort of cut deep into this thing, and it lets out a squeal, and you have it pinned for a second before you wrench the knife back out. It's almost dead.
Impressive.
But yeah. And Barbosa.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and throw the knife that my mono knife, kind of pull it out, flip it up, and then try and throw it at the thing. So
Okay.
The new knife lost forever.
now, I know that there's like, I don't know how the range for throwing or
It has a range.
It's 5 meters for throwing.
Yeah.
so
and
would
that's-
I be?
Yeah, you guys are pretty close to everything that's going on. They snuck up. They were the brave ones that were sort of sliding up behind these like dumpsters and rubbish and piles of refuse and shit like that.
Okay, so I'll take like a second to aim it, kind of like catch an eye, like and then chuck it at it. I'm just gonna do plus 10 for the aim.
Okay.
I figure. Well, I guess it'd be plus 10 for the aim, then plus 10 because it's. Oh no, I don't know. I hit it. Oh no, I didn't hit it. Well, would it have been plus 10 for making a standard attack? Or is it? I don't know.
Let's check.
Because normally it's standard, but I don't know if throwing a dagger is still a standard attack. It didn't give me the option like when I shoot.
Yeah, 1 sec. I'm looking for the thrown aspect in the thing real quick for its in-depth sort of
Mm-hmm.
disturbing as it was to hear about all those legs, I was glad because you had earlier referenced lizard bats, and I don't have a flamer, so I thought I was a goner for a moment.
Nah, these are like the small cousins of the lizard bats. Lizard dogs.
Alright, when using a thrown weapon, the wielder adds his strength bonus to the damage inflicted, by the way.
Okay.
But it doesn't say anything about aim. So let's go. It's a projectile, but you're using your weapon skill.
I was supposed to use weapon skill.
Well,
I can re-roll it. I did ballistic skill because it was like a ranged attack, so I was thinking ballistic skill, but I can roll weapon skill.
well, it's also, I feel like that's a different. Maybe that's just my ruling, but I feel like I know how to shoot a lot of guns. I don't know how to throw a fucking knife.
Right, completely different skill. So should I re-roll with weapon skill anyways and just?
Yeah, go ahead and reroll with weapons skill. And you did the aim and all that. So we'll do it weapon skill check, but with what aspects you can use from ballistic skill, aiming, and all that kind of thing.
Okay, cool. Sounds like a plan. Okay, so that. Woo! barely
Okay,
make it.
go ahead
A
and
lot of
roll.
barely making it.
Yeah, you guys are getting by the skin of your dicks. Alright, target location?
Well,
Head.
No,
Torso.
torso. Alright, damage.
1d5, so it's gonna be 1d5 plus 3.
Wow, okay.
There's no d5 in automatically
Just
in
do
the thing, so let
backslash
me,
roll 1d5.
So
Wow.
4, so 7
4,
damage.
7 damage. Yeah, this one, Lothos, as you're pulling your knife out, you just hear this whistling of a mono knife slicing through the air, and it just bisects this thing. It actually enters in right behind the spine, but since it's a mono blade, the inertia and propulsion just split this thing along its spine and lay it open like it's been bisected. The knife sticks in to the asphalt behind the creature.
Right. It's a nice knife. Now that is a knife.
Glad as I am that your knife is a knife, let us maybe not be an ally any longer.
Pick up my knife, kind of wipe it off on Phalos's robes, and then he already's got the goo on him from smashing that thing,
Yeah.
so he won't mind.
Yeah. Do you guys produce any light sources or anything to get you guys? Because you guys are in the middle of like a 200-meter thing, so it's 100 meters one way or 100 meters the other way.
I got a globe.
Globe. Okay. That's basically a lantern. Stab light. Alright, so you guys are just keeping an eye out. With the globe, that's going to keep most of the gutter eels off of you. With the globe as well, as you're walking, you now see a number of human remains, or more bits of them, as probably drunken or intoxicated people have stumbled into these alleys, and these gutter eels have just taken advantage of that.
Well,
Whether or
upon
not
seeing the human remains, I will pull my gun out.
Yeah.
Because fuck that knife.
it's rare. There's only like a couple, but yeah, there are a few dead people in this alleyway.
The first skull I see, I pull my gun out.
Yeah.
Weird just to see Barbossa's death laid out in front of us like that.
This hits close to home. I almost was eaten by strange creatures after a drunken escapade, so.
This is just, we just witnessed the future of Barbossa, pretty much. This is how he dies.
Gutter eels. The gutter eels in the spot. You guys are now going to bring gutter eel eggs back to the ship, and they're going to infest the lower bowels.
That works honestly because there's this one thing, and it's like you survive any amount of injury or critical damage or whatever until after combat's over. So I just want to like just be like devoured by them and just be like a skeleton, and the last one dies, and I'm like, it is finished. And I just crumble into a pile of fucking bones on the floor. Just
Stupid. All right.
Should we check their pockets?
I think we should leave the alley.
Okay.
All right. Let me mark down the brothel,
The Flesh House.
the flesh house. Yeah.
The Flesh.
Just hearing the
The
name is
name.
disgusting.
It, so,
the
it sounds like the
crimson-
place you
The-
would take Phalos to
The bloody
torture him.
gash.
The bloody gash.
Yeah.
That's gross, but
for
hearing
a
Flesh
whorehouse,
House for
that's
me.
gross.
Yeah, it's not a nice part of town. You guys are deep in the guts. Deep. But you guys make your way out of the alley.
Reminds me of Time in the Bite.
Find yourselves a new cab. This one is bright white and silver, and the inside is also this plush white leather, and it smells very like cloying and sweet. There's like little pastries and cookies. Each of these cabs seem to have a theme.
I'm sorry, but this cab's too good for you, Barbosa. I can't allow you in.
Right, well, guess what? Fuck you. I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna eat like 3 cookies real quick and just look at Lothos.
They're
It's like,
delicious.
Oh, these are bloody good fucking cookies. Oh.
Or like a buttercream cookie. Yeah.
Takes up a teacup
Sorry,
and just
I'm
starts
not sure
drinking.
about that.
What? Shut up, Alexa.
I get all posh as soon as I get in there. I'm like, right, welcome. Let's get on our way then.
Your accent turns proper British instead of like gutter British. For the Empire.
For the Empire, my good
Emperor
chaps.
and country, am I not mistaken, my fellow countrymen? Like, what the fuck?
Would you like a spot of right good tea?
I
Alright.
don't like what this cave is doing to you, Barbosa.
The presence of the warp. It affects him. Alright, what do you tell the driver?
I guess to the bloody gash.
Alright,
Yeah.
there's about a minute before anything happens.
There's like a sound of revulsion from the front seat. Like,
What?
You see through the blacked out glass just retching.
I was going to say this cave is too nice to be taken.
Open the door and like retch out into the street. And then you'll hear a voice, right away, my lord. You begin driving. You notice 2 things happen. One, you slow down, and the vehicle itself seems to get lower to the ground, and all the windows get covered by a light blast shield.
defense mode.
Yeah, it basically armors up. But it's very nice inside. It's well lit. There's a whole chandelier.
What? It's the whole shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
A whole ass chandelier. Yeah, it's nice.
So, my good sirs, are you ready to go to the bloody gash?
Not even remotely.
Bloody gash is my favorite kind of gash.
I know, it's okay to kick me out of the game after that one.
Sadly, Jaded will not help me with this.
Well, seeing as we all know that's a reference to violence and wounds sustained in combat.
Right! Exactly! Exactly my thoughts.
Yes.
Wounds,
See,
violence.
The driver's
What's more
just
violent than a bleeding gash?
the driver is just hemophobic.
I
So
see. Yes. Makes sense.
the thought of blood, you know.
Before a driver, we should bring them in with us.
Just crashes the car. Full
I'd
fo-
rather die!
just deactivates defense mode 180 miles an hour into a fucking wall. Just I'm done. Made the Emperor walk with me. Just holding on to an
Convince
Aquila.
the driver to wait outside of terrible
You
buildings.
cannot.
I would sit in car and let you deal with this.
You
but I
can-
do not think this will happen.
This guy's not. You're gonna have to push a bucket of money at this man for him to stay in this part of
Guy,
town.
we're the Inquisition.
We're ordering you to stay here.
So as you guys make your way through Halcyon, or I actually don't have a name of this city. I'll come up with one. I'm sorry. As you guys make your way through the city, the buildings get lower. and grimier and dirtier. There are burnt out shells of auto carriages. There are community fire pits from this stinking rain, and people that look like they're in these muddy, sort of fucked up, torn and disheveled garments. Like maybe these are people who lost it all, that blew all their money and all. They couldn't get off planet, and now they're just stuck here in this slum of the unfortunate, basically.
What a bunch of losers.
And it looks shady. Like, there are people eyeing you. Pretty much everyone has a weapon of some sort. You'll pass by a few people, pass by, like, a gang of people, like, beating a man to death with a brick. I'll pass a pack of these gutter eels, tearing apart what looks like some sort of other animal. Maybe a dog. There are also... You'll pass by a guy who's selling these gutter eels in cages. And it's like, gutter eel, fucking 15 geld.
So I'm thinking next time we come back to the ship, we make a platoon called the Gather Eels. And they just
will like this.
And they just specialize at literally tearing people apart.
They're all mutants with pointy teeth.
Like that one.
You have to have your teeth filed down.
It's like that one that got Modeus.
Oh god.
Or Modis.
Oh, he would have had a conniption. No, so you come up to this building, and it's concrete, bars on the windows, it's a few stories. There's a dead body outside. It looks old. There's a few carriages parked out. There's some greasy-looking security guys in leathers. They look like hive gangers, honestly, almost. The city's not a hive. They just look outcast, like definitely outcast, definitely like scum. Outside with guards, they have what look to be just these very rudimentary weapons. Not well kept, not well maintained. They got these sort of bats and truncheons on them too. Lots of scars. One of them has the brand of the Aquila on his forehead, which marks him as a criminal. And it has his penance and his crime branded on there as well.
What did this fellow do?
Murder. Murder, rape, and kidnapping. So he's
Funny,
actually
he's
he's actually
not a
fairly old. But it means that he survived his time on the penal colony, which is fucking rare. Like most of them just get worked to death within a few days.
Impressive. Okay then, so Phalos, you're joining us. Well, you kind of have to, or else you're stuck outside by
The
yourself.
car's gone.
Yeah.
He
And
dropped you
it's
guys
not to
off and
sound
fucking
rude, but I
gunned
feel
it.
like they probably would take you for scrap parts.
I am not waiting outside. I will be coming in, if nothing else, to make sure we do this with some measure of subtlety.
Good to hear.
Thankfully,
we have you.
you managed to correct indiscretion of earlier request. Let us try not to get murdered by pigs.
Oh, is this? I thought this was about the collapsible bones again. I was like, what the fuck are we talking about that shit for?
No, I was talking about him just blatantly asking the driver, do you know where illegal guns are?
No. Yeah, so you guys can saunter up for the staircase. Again, dirty concrete. There's like butts of glow sticks and some blood. A few other fluids and mucus. It's dirty, just trash. Guards sort of give you a once over, and they ask you to display all your weapons as well. Lothos, if you want to hide that thing, I need the sleight of hand plus 30.
I would say it's still in the box at this point.
Still in the box? Okay, then they're not
I'm not
going to
gonna-
worry about it.
I'm not gonna unpack it yet.
Cool. Alright, they will let you
Show
in.
my fancy new gun with flare. Be like,
Right, yeah, got me something from this planet.
This is the one I'll go right here.
They'll actually be impressed by it and start sort of chatting you up about it, and they'll like try to compare theirs to yours, but it's, you know, obvious that yours is like several grades above theirs. But they're dirty hive scum. They don't fucking understand. They can't even read probably.
this is my kind of people.
Yeah. You do have allies underworld. So.
I do. These are my people.
You guys are chilling, getting along. Pass around a few low sticks. They'll let you in. Now they'll open the doors for you guys. Just be like, hey, don't cause any trouble, all right?
Nah, no trouble, Bay. No trouble. Matter of fact, where's Biggs at? I got a word with him.
Biggs? Oh, shit. We'll kind of look at each other. Well, Biggs will probably be inside talking to the madam. What business you got with Biggs?
Right, you understand the kind of business Biggs has got. Not really for jawing about.
Yeah. I'll sort of eye you guys again. Definitely, like, not suspicious, but they're going to be keeping an eye on you while you're here. Like, alright, well, business is business. You get on with yours, I'll get on with mine.
Oh, sounds just about fair, mate. Don't worry, you won't be having no problems with me. Not here, anyways.
Just nod. And let you guys in. As you guys step in, you are assailed by a number of senses. It's a low, dark room. There are women lounging about these large sort of, they look like hookahs. There's a low, dense, heady smoke clouding the room. Women, men, robots, all shapes and sizes, all colors, all ages. It is a very decadent brothel. Some of the women are gorgeous, a lot of them are not. And it is just the feeling of this place, just the psychic sort of sense of decadence. It's almost like this place is like real close to almost taking it too far. But you're also just assailed by the smells of old alcohol and body odor and sweat and blood and urine, and it's rough. Like, it almost makes you guys gag. It's hot in here too. There's no open windows. It's just this steamy, smoky, just visceral place.
Reminds me of home. Come here, ladies. Daddy's home.
It reminds me a bit of the Hive.
Yeah, a number of them will approach you guys and sort of start flirting, and like a few of them look completely fucking out of it. Like, their eyes are just glazed over. Their movements are jerky, stuff like that. Some of them are coherent, a lot of them are drunk, like just pawing at you guys, and you know, pretty much whatever you want. You probably have.
I want to go with Skies.
Barbosa has a thing for girls with scars.
Yeah, you'll you say that, and one will come up. She is heavily covered in scars. She has strips of fabric covering the naughty bits, and she also is carrying a batch of new scars and a set of knives for you to use should you so wish.
That actually repulses Barbosa.
Oh yeah, it's fucked up.
That's like, I'm gonna like slap the tray out of her hands and be like,
Right, get out of my face. That's shit. No, I want a girl who's got battle, not someone who sells their little puss and skin out to anybody with some geld in their pocket. Give me a real woman.
As you entice a ruckus. we'll
I'm
say.
not like a big ruckus.
I know.
Just more like, yeah.
A few of the girls back off. Most of them don't care. It's not like anyone's reacting weirdly. Like, there's just another day. Like, this is not a good place to be. You'll see coming out of one of the back rooms. Coming out of one of the back rooms, the largest single humanoid creature you have ever seen in your fucking life. Bigger than a space marine. Basically has to crawl through the doorway. Huge. And almost this just comically small, like, bowler hat on its head, which is misshapen and twisted. It is hulking slabs of muscle upon muscle upon muscle. Easily 12 feet tall. Easily 6 feet wide. just this thing comes in and it has these huge just slabs of arms like that reach almost down past its knees. And it looks at you just with these small little glinting eyes that show like almost like a predatory intelligence, and it's got this sort of curled pipe that's puffing on this white vest, and the white and blue vest again, with the sort of nice white shirt, and it's all comically just stretched out on it. It's actually, the hat is comically small because of the size of his head is comically small, but the rest of it is actually very well tailored. Like everything else fits perfectly.
I'm gonna nod in his direction and be like,
Right, I think we found Biggs.
Sort of puff on the pipe.
Right, I heard you was looking for me.
Right, mate. I'm supposed to pick up a bottle to take to me ma. I was told you're the guy to talk to about that.
Oh yeah, you want to take it to the mine? Gonna come down Dardentynen, Fergan nursing.
Ah, righty in him and scabba.
Kind of firing Aberdeen.
Rah. Shut up, right? Yeah, mate.
And he'll start laughing. Ah!
I'll just look at like Phalos and be like, "Do you understand any of this?"
Are they speaking language?
I'm not sure.
Terribly losing my own accent in the midst of that display. That is what just happened. That is how much my mind was blown. I did not recognize that as words. No.
Yeah, Phalos, if you want, you can give me an Imperial Guard lore check.
I would love to give you an Imperial Guard.
You may have
lore
seen
check.
one of these creatures before.
I have 1 rank, so that's just no negative modifier. Any other modifier I need to be aware of?
You have... you have the skill trained, right?
Yeah. Just enough to get rid of the negative.
Enough to get rid of the negative. You served in the Imperial Guard. Do another plus 10 on top of that.
So 51. No.
Okay. Yeah. You're like, this is obviously not a human. This thing cannot possibly be a human. It is too big. It is too much. It's obviously some breed of mutant. And it looks familiar, but you're not exactly sure what the fuck it is. But he is Biggs. You know, sort of,
My name's Biggs.
sort of tip his hat to all.
If you're looking for me, you must need a bottle of brandy for old Lemon's grandmother, right?
That's right.
Right. Well, we got all kinds of brandy here. Big, small, dark, white. Shit, we even have brandy that flies. I gotta ask, why do you need this kind of brandy for his grandmother, when he's usually fine with the normal stuff?
I'm gonna kind of attempt to like put my arm over his shoulder, like pull him down conspiratorially. Obviously, it hits like his elbow.
You're like grabbing his nipple.
It's gonna be like kind of like it's like.
He'll like lean down like, yeah.
Oh, sometimes a man's gotta protect himself from some unknowns, you know, right? And it just so happens I might have, well, me and my mates, mostly me, might have some enemies on this planet with some bad blood, right? And a couple dueling pistols and some little knives ain't gonna really quite give us what we need, you understand? The brandy I had at other places wasn't quite up to scratch.
I'm not sure the boss would like me letting you all in without, you know, checking with him first.
I'll have to think about it for a long time. He's deep in thought. Does not seem very intelligent.
Well, he's thinking I'll just light up a low stick and I'll offer one to him, and even though it'd probably be like, you know,
He's like-
one drag.
Puffing on this pipe.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just light up a low stick and sit there and watch him think and kind of shoot furtive glances over at Lothos and Phalos.
Yeah, what are the rest of you doing?
Guess
Go ahead.
sticking close to Barbosa for the most part.
Yeah, this is Barbosa's show.
Relaxing. This is not my type of scene.
Well, you guys can all interact with Biggs. You're all here. Like everyone knows you're here. There's no point in, hanging back if you don't want to.
I'm just out of my element.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In this particular environment, I will kind of lean over just to Barbosa. Do we need to point out how much money we have? Does that get us into the next room? I don't know how this works.
I'm gonna whisper back.
Right, don't let them know under any circumstances how much money we have. We'll never get out of here alive.
He's not wrong.
I'm just gonna nod.
We are broke, and we're gonna stay broke, and we're not rogue traders. We're just some blokes here on vacation, and we got some problems from something. It don't matter. We don't got no money like that.
Unless
Yeah.
you feel like being ransomed to the Inquisitor by this big bloke.
Exterminatus. Fuck the whole planet. Nope. Virus bomb. As you guys are waiting for him to think, it is literally taking him several minutes to think. He is that stupid. You guys just don't like the feel of this place. It just feels bad. Like it's almost like a sick smell in your stomach. It's not just the odor. It's not just what you're seeing. It's just like not a chill place to be.
Do I get that same feeling, or is this like home for me?
It's bad. It's a bad place. Like, it's probably one of the nastiest brothels you've ever been to. Like, brothels aren't uncommon, in the Imperium, but, seeing this level of decadence is disconcerting.
I see.
No, I did not come here as soon as we heard the name.
So lower than the lowest. Damn.
Yeah, this is like Hive scum wouldn't touch this shit.
Damn.
Like, it's
That's
bad.
pretty low.
You're in a low part of the city, yeah. Biggs will stop puffing on his pipe. Roy, show us thinks that the only thing I need to do is take you to the boss. Right?
Works for me. I
Yeah.
love meeting bosses.
If I takes you to the boss, he can tell me to tell you whether or not I can sell brandy to you.
Right,
Right.
let's meet the boss. Hey, maybe we even have something in common. If he's a standing bloke like you is, we might be best friends.
Right. I don't think that will happen. But good luck.
Thank you for the word.
He will grab a huge coat that is basically a tent to the rest of you. And throw it on, also perfectly tailored to him. And begin making his way out of the brothel and indicating that you guys should follow.
Don't want to be in the brothel. I approve.
Let's follow him.
Yeah. As you guys exit, you'll see him sort of roll his shoulders and be like, never really liked it in there. Gives me the willies.
Not exactly the nicest place, but you gotta go where you gotta go.
Piece of the pie, I suppose. Piece of the pie. Eel pie. I'll get distracted for a second.
What's eel pie like?
Oh, well, it's pie, but like with eels in it.
Like its texture though, is it like spongy?
Chewy. He'll begin leading you guys through the streets, just sort of trundling along. Not a care in the world, it seems. And why would he? He is certainly an imposing figure, and people, like, literally cross to the other side of the street, like, just get the fuck away from him. He does not look armed either.
I mean, when he can rip
Does
your
he-
arm
does
off
he
and beat
need
you to
to
death with it. Like,
Yeah, he does not need to be armed. Like, this man is a hulking mass of fuck you.
He can pick up one of the fucking husk of an auto carriage and just use that as a weapon.
He'll take you about a mile to to just a burned out area of the city. It is just shells of buildings, or they're boarded up, or they're completely leveled or half built in. He'll take you to a nondescript door, and one of these that connects to like this overpass where one of the tram rails goes over. These large sort of metal structures pinning them down that are reinforced against the winds and rains and stuff like that, and high enough up so that if the city does ever flood, you can still move around. And just this nondescript metal door. And he'll just sort of fumble around in his pockets for a minute and pull out a key or a key ring and start flipping through them. And he'll have to try each one. It takes a while, but he does eventually get the door open. And immediately inside are a group of what look to be gangers. But they look nice. They're in these black and white sort of tuxedo gangster outfits. They have gloves, hats, and they're carrying what look to be modified auto guns. And they'll sort of standing there, and they'll sort of see Biggs and immediately stand down and just be like nodding and giving you all the eye. Biggs will lead you guys down into this deep corridor that begins spiraling underground. It's well lit, it's clean, it's nice. There's furniture, it smells nice. There's paintings on the walls now. And essentially take you down into this bunker. And you'll head down into this lift and into this room, and there'll be another set of guards, along with several combat servitors. And Biggs will sort of turn to the rest of you guys like, right, so the boss is here, but you know, you guys need to give up your weapons to us if you go to see the boss.
Right. All our weapons, like, I ain't have been without a gun since I was knee high to you, mate. Like, it's been a minute, you understand? I always got something on me. Can I keep a knife? Just a knife. Just for my own sense of self, you know?
He'll just be slowly shaking like, nope, all weapons before you see the boss. That's what the boss said, and that's what the boss meant.
Right. I'm gonna kind of eyeball Lothos real quick, just like, I know what you bought. And it's kind of like, you know, give him a little eye, and then like take out my knife and my revolver, or my fucking Desert Eagle Hellboy cannon thing, and like clank them down on the table and be like, "I'll better get them back now. That's a new gun. I want it back."
He'll nod. Rest be assured, we will make sure that your weapons are safe. The rest of you, weapons, please.
Sadly, that last pistol's in the box, so
Ah, fuck.
I
And
can't
everything
conceal
over, I
it.
didn't. No problem.
All right, you guys hand everything over, and they are kept on a table in the room, out in the open. No one moves them. The guards are also standing there. None of them are pointing their guns at you. They're all very well trained. You do notice that these autoguns have modified magazines and stocks. They have a drum mag attached to all of them. Basically what you're getting is wall of lead. But they after you guys disperse with your weapons and give you guys a once more a pat down by one of the guards in the room. Very, very professional. It's not rough. It's not extreme. It's just, you know, he'll nod. Biggs will nod, and he'll open the door. And it's a surprisingly small office. It's a metal desk, lights, cogitators, monitor screens, and just a man sort of reclining back in this deep leather chair. And he's just this thin, angular, narrow-looking guy. Have had a image of him, but it's gone now. So he's a very thin, angular man, old. He's got streaks. Not very old. He's probably in his late 40s, maybe. You're not sure if he's had any augmentations or treatments to extend his life. Streaks of gray in this sort of jet black hair. which is just slicked back. He's got this little sort of pencil mustache and goatee, these arching heavy eyebrows. He's dressed in this sort of black and silver robe and ensemble. It looks very well cut, and the sleeves are all flowy and nice. He's wearing a number of rings and jewelry. He's not armed, from what you can see, but he just has this feeling about him. He's like a coiled spring, he just looks at you with these hungry little predator eyes. And there's this wide sort of knowing, sly smile on his face. He's like, "Oh, welcome, boys. Sounds like we have some business to attend to." And that's where we'll end our session. So,
Right.
if you guys are watching, I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, this is Dark Heresy Whispers of the Eye. We are hopefully playing every Monday at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time here on Total Tabletop. We also upload these episodes to YouTube, so if you didn't catch all the show, or if you can't make the time and want to see the show anyway, go check us out on YouTube. We're also pretty active in our Discord. That'll let you guys keep up to date with lore and just hang out with us, ask us questions, things like that. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. It was a lot of fun. We will be here next week. I have been your game master, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. So until next time, we'll see you.